Hello friends. Welcome to Fictional Vortex. How are you all? So we are back with an interesting series on what if Naruto had the ninja's power and become super legendary Saiyan. Also be sure to subscribe and like this video. Now let's begin. Dead last can't even make one decent clone to graduate from the academy. A student yelled out while other students were laughing, excluding Sasuke and Hinata. Naruto had a look of sadness on his face as he was disappointed that his plans of becoming Hokage have hit another hurdle. At that time Mizuki was approaching Naruto, but at that time there was an explosion in front of the academy. All the instructors and students went outside to see what was the cause of the disturbance. When they arrived they seen a kid who looks about 2 or 3 years older than the students, with black spiky hair, and his orange GI a bit damaged. "Hey, take this kid to the medic and alert the Hokage at once," Iruka yelled as the rest of the Chunin ninja left. After 3 days in the hospital, Goku awoke while he tried sitting up but he was tucked rather tightly. He looked to his left and saw an elderly man about almost the same age as Master Roshi. When his eyes were fully opened, he saw the getting ready to talk. "Well, I see you seem to be making a good recovery," Sarutobi said as the boy forced his way up. "Where am I, old man?" Goku asked innocently. "You're in Konohagakure, but allow me to ask, why were you found outside the academy?" He replied and asked. The last thing I remember was I was on my flying nimbus and a giant rock came from the sky, that had flames on it, hit me after I tried to stop it," Goku said in a thinking pose. "Interesting, this kid was hit by an asteroid and woke up in only 3 days?" Sarutobi thought with disbelief. "Well, if you want, since you're here, will you like to stay here for a while until you feel ready to leave?" he asked the boy. "Sure. Thanks, Gramps. By the way, I'm Goku. Nice to meet you," the boy revealed to be Goku said as he offered Sarutobi a handshake. "Hokage Sarutobi, it's a pleasure to have you," he said as he took his hand. Meanwhile, Naruto has stolen the scroll of seals from the Hokage residence and learned one of techniques inside it. Then he will be allowed to graduate. He was trying to learn the multiple shadow clone jutsu, unaware that the village was now looking for him. Soon after, Iruka Amino tracked him down. "Naruto, what are you doing with that forbidden scroll?" Iruka questioned as he approached Naruto. "Oh, Iruka-sensei, Mizuki said that I can graduate if I manage to steal the scroll, but I got bored of waiting for him, and decided I learn something from it for myself," Naruto explained. So Mizuki tried to dupe Naruto in an effort to steal the scroll, Iruka thought. As he was in thought, 3 shurikens came from a branch, but Iruka saved him and Naruto. Mizuki had revealed himself and attacked them, and told Naruto about the 9 tails sealed within him, claiming that Iruka hated him because of it. When Iruka risked his life to protect Naruto, however, Naruto realized that Mizuki's earlier words were a lie, and created hundreds of shadow clones to beat Mizuki to a pulp. After the damage was done, Naruto felt bad that he almost let Mizuki fool him, but Iruka told him to close his eyes. When he did, Naruto noticed that Iruka didn't have on his headband. He then glanced up and saw the headband now on his forehead. Naruto started to cry tears of joy and gave Iruka the biggest hug he could muster. Along the following days he befriended Konohamaru while he was taking his registration form. Soon after Naruto left with the honorable grandson, Goku walked in the office where Anbu Ninja appeared in front of him, but the Hokage waved them off. "Hey, I was wondering, can I be what you guys are? I'm getting bored just staying locked away being watched," Goku said with a smile. The Hokage was taken back by that statement and became curious. "How did you know you were being followed? Those shinobi are the highest Anbu this village has to offer," he said, which Goku grinned to. "I don't know, I just smelt them from their hiding spots," Goku said with his hand scratching his head. "Well, okay, but you will have to talk to Iruka first. He already have the teams set up, but let him know I approved of this, seeing how you detected the Anbu rather easily," he said as he got started on paperwork again, which caused him to sigh. "Thanks, Sarutobi. Goodbye," Goku said with a wave as he ran off. "That boy is so much like Naruto, it's almost scary," he thought with a light chuckle. The next day, Naruto and Sasuke argued, and then continued to glare at each other until a boy sitting in front of them accidentally bumped into Naruto, who fell forward and accidentally kissed Sasuke, much to everyone's disgust. Later, Iruka Amino announced the members of Team 7, Team 8, and Team 10. Shortly after, Naruto approached Sakura to have lunch, but she coldly dismissed him. Angered yet again, Naruto formulated a plan to make Sakura dislike Sasuke. Later, Naruto ambushed Sasuke through an open window. Then Sasuke was shown standing over a bound and gagged Naruto. Later, Sasuke asked Sakura about Naruto. "Hey, Sakura-chan, what do you think of Naruto?" he sweetly. "Naruto? He nothing but a dead last and failure with no skills. He's annoying too. If he's always gets between us, I can't live a life with you," she said with a soft voice at the end, which broke Naruto's heart greatly. "I'm sorry that he make you feel that way, but your forehead is cute, it makes me want kiss it," Sasuke said, which made Sakura blushed like a tomato. Really, thanks Sasuke, that means a lot coming from you," Sakura said while having her hands to her chest. Sasuke leaned in to kiss Sakura, but was forced to go to the bathroom. It was then shown that Naruto had actually overpowered Sasuke and tied him up. Meanwhile, the real Sasuke, who had managed to escape Naruto's bonds, walked by Sakura. Sasuke then became angry at Sakura and left, but not before saying to Sakura that she was annoying. Sasuke leaned in to kiss Sakura, but was forced to go to the bathroom. Sakura resolved to be a little nicer to Naruto in the future. Naruto then approached Sakura and, when Sakura tried to be friendly, Naruto thought that it was Sasuke who transformed into Sakura. He yelled at Sakura before fleeing once more to the bathroom. Naruto, however, ran into Sasuke while heading to the bathroom. He used the shadow clone technique and was about to attack Sasuke, but abruptly all of the clones had to go to the bathroom. The third Hokage and Kakashi Hitaki were at Naruto's house. The Hokage briefed Kakashi on Team 7, which Kakashi would be leading. Kakashi examined a carton and declared that the milk had spoiled a long time ago, commenting about how much of a problem Naruto and Goku would be. Team 7 is together. As new Genin teams are meant to be well balanced, Naruto is paired up with Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha, and Son Goku, who was accepted via the Hokage. A Jonin is also assigned to a team, and that Jonin is allowed to make the decision if the 3 team members will become Genin. The Jonin assigned to that team is Kakashi Hitaki. As the group was waiting, the door opened up to reveal Goku. "Hey, aren't you the boy from a couple days ago?" Naruto asked, with Sakura wondering the same thing while admiring his toned body, and Sasuke, who gave a look like something was wrong, but dismissed it. "Yay, the old man said that I can be partnered up with you guys," Goku said with a smile that will rival Naruto's. "Well, it's nice to meet you, Naruto," he introduced himself as he adjusted his headband. "This is Sakura-chan and Sasuke Teme," he finished before Sakura hit him in the head. Ow, Sakura-chan, what was that for?" Naruto asked as he rubbed his head. "Stop talking bad about Sasuke," Sakura said, was drooling over Sasuke and Goku. Was all Sasuke said as he looked out the window. "Sakura, you didn't have to hit him so hard, he was just stating what he felt. Sasuke is, after all, it's just words. Beside, I think you guys will be great friends in the future anyway and have a bond no one will be able to break," Goku said, with the others looking at him in awe. 2 hours later, Kakashi arrives with a board eraser landing in his head with a tint of chalk dust. On the roof, Kakashi takes the day to let the team bond by having them each introduce themselves to each other. Naruto says that he wants to be Hokage one day. Goku said he wanted to be the strongest fighter in the world and surpass his sensei, Master Roshi. Sakura merely blushes and glances at Sasuke, and Sasuke declares that his goal is to kill a certain man. He explains the test will be a survival battle in which the students attempt to take one of 2 bells from Kakashi. He then says only 2 will pass the test, and 1 will be sent back to the academy. As the test begins, Sakura and Sasuke start by hiding, but Naruto and Goku stood their ground staring Kakashi in the face. Naruto begins with some shadow clones and Goku gets in as Turtle Hermit style. Kakashi sees a clone run towards him with a kunai in hand and thrusted his hand forward, but Kakashi easily dodges the clone by twisting. But when he faces the front again, he was being targeted by Goku, who had his hand cocked to deliver a blow to Kakashi's side. When the blow landed, he turned into a log. What happened, Goku?" Naruto asked while he kept his guard up. "I don't know, I thought we would have had him when he got distracted," Goku said as he and Naruto vanished in the bushes. Kakashi was on a tree branch and was quite pleased on how they operated. At that time, Sasuke attacks Kakashi with shuriken and kunai, seemingly killing Kakashi. Kakashi evaded Sasuke's previous attack. Sasuke and Kakashi was in an almost even taijutsu battle, but Sasuke was getting pushed back. He unleashed his fire style, Great Fireball Jutsu, which amazed Kakashi, but in the end he easily avoided it and disappeared. Sasuke growls before heading back to the bushes. When does he see his team but was about to turn away before Naruto called out to him. "What do you want, Dobi?" he said, a bit pissed. "Look, Goku and I tested Kakashi-sensei when we began and figured out that we can't beat him on our own. We have to work together to even have a chance of getting the bells," Naruto explained. Sasuke glances at Sakura and at Goku, who nodded to the both of them. "Fine," Sasuke says as they left. Kakashi was looking at his book in the opening, while he looked at the time. 10 minutes left. So another team fails, he said to himself while he glacked up from his book and saw Naruto's everywhere in the field. Each one pounced at him, but Kakashi however evaded the attack by using Earth Release, Double Suicide Decapitation Jutsu, which trapped all the Narutos, who later poofed. "Naruto, you're full of surprises. Making this many clones would have tired me for at least 3 weeks, and they called you a dead last," he thought. As he relaxed a bit, 1,000 of kunai knives were heading towards Kakashi. Sakura, not bad, Kakashi thought. As he dodged all of them, he saw fire jutsu coming towards him. "Sasuke, predictable," he said with a calm expression. But he was shocked when the fireball broke apart into tiny small fireballs that barely missed Kakashi. But what shocked him even more was the fact when each one died down, they each turned to shuriken and almost half of them nicked his body, which forced him to block. This gave Goku the perfect chance to help them pass their test. Kamehame. Kakashi barely lowered his guard and heard a chant, but when he realized that the voice was behind him, it was too late. "H-A-A-A-A-A-A-A-A," Goku yelled as he pushed his hands in front of him and unleashed a beam blue energy at Kakashi. There was an explosion that destroyed half of the training field. "Did we do it?" Sakura asked while everyone else shrugged. "It depends now," Sasuke said as the smoke cleared. They saw Kakashi's lifeless body on the ground, and this caused Sasuke to grit his teeth in anger. "You killed him, Goku," Sakura said as she fell to her knees shaken. "Sorry, not quite, but that was a pretty impressive combination, you four," Kakashi said from behind the group. "I thought you died for a minute," Sakura said with a relief. "Well, to be honest, if it wasn't for my quick wits I would have died," Kakashi said with a laugh. That Goku got was a shadow clone," he said as pointed to the clone which dispersed. "But you guys failed. I'm sorry, Gu," Kakashi was saying before being interrupted. "Hate disappoint you, Kakashi-sensei, but we passed," a voice said as he jumped out of the bushes. What do you mean?" Kakashi asked. Naruto smiled and was punched in the head by Sakura. "You baka, why didn't you help Sasuke?" Sakura yelled. "Sakura-chan, I'm sorry, but that was part of the plan," Naruto said while Sakura looked confused. "Well, aren't going to explain?" Kakashi asked again. "Oh right. You see, when Sakura-chan sent those kunai knives at you, that was really me in disguise, and when I passed you, as a kunai, I knocked off the bells," Naruto said while he showed him the bells, which shocked Kakashi. "But how?" "They're right here," Kakashi said as he pulled up the bells. "Well, that's thanks to Sasuke and Goku. See, when Sasuke shot his Phoenix Flower Jutsu and they turned to shuriken, I had a clone disguised in and it replaced them with the bells," Naruto said as the bell in Kakashi's hand popped into Naruto and vanished. "Goku was here to keep you from figuring that part out with his technique rather quickly," Naruto finished. "Incredible. All this was his plan?" Kakashi thought in amazement. Sakura looked over at Naruto, who was smiling. "Naruto, that was a well-thought plan. It kind of makes me envy that it wasn't Sasuke," Sakura said as she hugged him, which surprised Naruto. Kakashi then announces that they have all passed his test. He informs the team that they are the first team to ever pass his test and that they are now officially his students. He explains one of a ninja's most important rules. Those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. They later went home for their future missions as Team 7. A few days later, Goku was training with Naruto, who wanted to get stronger than Sasuke and to impress the girl he loves, Sakura. Naruto ran towards Goku, who held his power pole firmly in his hand. Naruto made a couple of shadow clones and they each charged at Goku and attacked fiercely to no success. Goku caught one of Naruto's punches with his left hand and was about to attack with his power pole but was stopped as he heard Sasuke. "Hey Sasuke." Goku greeted as his power pole returned to its previous state. Kakashi wants us for another mission right now," Sasuke said as he turned around and walked away. Naruto glared at Sasuke for a quick second. He felt as though Sasuke didn't see him. "Yo Teme, why don't you try calling us by our names? At least use everyone's names once in a while," Naruto said with his arms crossed. Sasuke ignored him as he vanished, in which Naruto pouted at Sasuke's arrogance, but Goku just giggled a little. Later, after they got their mission from the Hokage, a couple of hours later, as our friends walk along the scenic path, they pass a small puddle that catches Kakashi, Sasuke, Goku's eye for a second. Once past the puddle, a head emerges from it, then a body. One figure is thrown in a chain, trailing from one arm, is wrapped around Kakashi. "Kakashi-sensei!" Naruto yelled. Taken by surprise, Kakashi's body is torn to bloody shreds by the barbed chain that the two attacking ninjas have attached to their armguards. Shocked by the sight, Kakashi, Sakura scream out. The two ninjas surround Goku and Naruto while he gets in his stance as he grabbed a kunai from his pouch as he waited for the two ninja to make their move. "Darn, where's Kakashi-sensei?" Naruto asked to Goku, who was behind him standing casually. As they go in for the kill, but Sasuke, thinking fast, tethers their chain to a tree with a well-placed shuriken and kunai combo. He then proceeds to land on their arms and kick both of them. They quickly detach the chain and split up, one attacking Naruto and the other going after Tazuna. Naruto thinks fast, however, and both ninja end up in a taijutsu match, which had Naruto a bit behind. He was able to keep up thanks to his training with Goku in the past few days. Sakura, shaken by all the sudden activity, stands her ground as one of the ninjas bears down on the two. Sasuke rushes in front and readies for the attack, when out of nowhere the ninja get attacked by Kakashi. Now holding both ninjas, having used the replacement technique to evade any injury. "Sorry guys for not being fast enough." "Good job guys, but Goku, why didn't you back up the team?" Kakashi asked as the group reformed. "I didn't have to. Naruto and Sasuke was more than enough, but the same can be said for you, albeit you were trying to see who was they after. Am I right?" Goku said with the sun smile. What he knew about them too. But if that's the case, how much strength is he holding back? Sasuke thought while Kakashi examined Naruto from afar. "Naruto, we have to get you treated. The ninja claws were poisoned. We got to leech you, while you get that done." Kakashi glanced at Tazuna. "You come with me," he said as he led the way. With the two ninjas securely tied to a tree, Kakashi tells them how he knew they were being followed and why he let the ninjas attack. Kakashi wanted to see who their target was. He then reprimands Tazuna because he lied in the job description just because he could not afford to state what the real problem was. Faced with the new information and an injured Naruto, the group decides to go back to the village. Naruto pulls out a kunai and thrusts it into his hand, releasing a gush of blood, which gets Goku and Sakura's. Naruto then states that he will no longer be a burden to the group and that the mission is still on. Goku smiles, along with Sasuke and Sakura. Kakashi congratulates Naruto on his bravery but then tells him that he will die of blood loss if he does not take care of the wound. Naruto flails around and shows Kakashi his hand, but because of the nine-tails demon sealed inside of Naruto, it is already healed. They patch things up and move on. Elsewhere, in a large dark treehouse where we find a very short man yelling at some ninjas for failing at their job. Then one of the ninjas sitting down with a wrapped mouth and face pulls out a huge decapitating sword, stating that he will get the job done. We then find out that the two ninjas that were just beaten were called the Demon Brothers. The name of the ninja in the treehouse is Momochi Zabuza from the Hidden Mist Village. With Naruto and company recovering from their recent victory over the Demon Brothers, we find our group on a small boat shrouded by the heavy mist. As they slowly go towards their destination, the oarsmen remark that soon they will see the bridge. Soon a huge monolith appears before them in the shape of an unfinished bridge. Naruto cries out only to be hushed by the oarsmen so as not to be caught by an unseen enemy. Goku, however, was playing with the water with his hands. So Tazuna, what the real situation? Kakashi said as he read his pervy book. Tazuna sighed as he looked at the ocean. Well, there's this rich businessman, named Gato. He wants to monopolize the country of the wave and stop the flow of free trade. He hired a bunch of rough ninjas to get the job done, he said while Goku listened closely to his story. Tazuna then explains that he lied because they were too poor to afford a B-rank mission and he begs the group to please help him. Kakashi decides, indifferently, that they will help Tazuna and the country of the wave. After they land, the group head to Tazuna's house and Kakashi remains on the lookout, knowing that this time around the enemy will be much stronger. As the group heads to Tazuna's, Naruto decides to take the initiative and be overly cautious. Naruto charges ahead and tosses a kunai into the distance, startling the group. Then after being reprimanded, both Naruto and Kakashi sense something. Naruto tosses another kunai, this time, almost hitting a poor little snow rabbit. As the others look over the poor rabbit, Kakashi understands that the fur should not have been white due to the season. He then tells the group that they are being followed. Sensing the new enemy very close to them, Kakashi prepares himself and then Zabuza strikes. Knowing beforehand who Kakashi is, it's a big advantage to Zabuza and he throws his sword towards Kakashi. Kakashi tells everyone to duck and they all hit the dirt, all except Goku, who used his power pull to slow the sword in its tracks and ricochet the sword into a tree, and Zabuza appears standing on the handle. Kakashi recognizes him right away as the exiled ninja from the hidden village of Mist. Everyone regroup on me. Kakashi calls back the others, knowing this is a fight they cannot win in the state he is in now, and reaches for his head protector. Zabuza, knowing who he is, calls him Kakashi the Sharingan user, and Sasuke seems surprised to hear this. With everybody in a state of bewilderment, Kakashi tells them to protect Tazuna and don't interfere with the fight. Hey Kakashi, you want me to back you up? Goku asks seriously. Kakashi then lifts the left side of his head protector to reveal a closed scared eye, and then opens it, revealing a red eye with 3 dots almost like a pinwheel. Thanks for the offer, but I can handle this. Make sure that if he gets by me, protect the team and Tazuna, Kakashi said as he got ready to battle Zabuza. Sasuke explains that the Sharingan is a special dojutsu or eye technique that has the power to see through all ninjutsus, taijutsus, and genjutsus. Sasuke also explains that the Sharingan has one other ability. Zabuza explains that it can also copy any move Kakashi fights against. Kakashi is well known and Zabuza refers to him as Copy Kakashi, having supposedly copied 1000 juts. As an eerie mist roll settles, the battle is underway. Zabuza is standing on the surface of a pond and performs the mist concealment technique, and disappears in the now heavy fog. Kakashi then explains that Zabuza was part of the ambush squad of the hidden mist village. He is known as the Silent Killer. As the mist thickens, Kakashi becomes hidden in it as well. Then Zabuza starts talking about which ways to be killed to make them uneasy. Kakashi then builds up chakra and clears out some of the mist, but also sends chills down Sasuke's spine because of the intense killing intent of the two. Kakashi notices Sasuke's uneasiness and tells him everything will be alright. He will never let his comrades die again. Zabuza then appears in between them, explaining that there is no one to save them. Just as Zabuza swings the sword, Kakashi springs forward, but stopped once the sounds of an attack hitting made itself known. But it turns out that Naruto and Goku attacked Zabuza. Kakashi saw Zabuza turn into water after the attack. The real Zabuza was right behind Kakashi. Zabuza swings and catches Kakashi off guard, splitting him in two. But just as the blood starts flowing, it turns to water and the real Kakashi is behind Zabuza with a kunai to his neck. In the time it took for Zabuza to do the mist concealment, Kakashi had copied Zabuza's clone technique and now has the upper hand. Kakashi, who thought that he had gotten the real Zabuza in his grasp, realized it was another water clone and the real Zabuza was just behind him. Kakashi was able but was about to be kicked had it not been for Goku, who twisted his power pull, which bounced his kick away from the duo. But then Kakashi felt a slash coming towards him and hopped into the water, surprised at Zabuza's speed. Interesting, but now you've fallen for my trap, Kakashi, Zabuza said with a smirk, which Kakashi noticed the water rising above him, and in that second he was ensnared by a water prison. This is not good, Naruto said, which Sasuke looked at the battle that was commencing. Pitiful, the legendary Kakashi captured by a B-ranked jutsu, Zabuza said as made another water clone to kill the group of 4. Guys, get away, you're no match for him. Take Tazuna and go. Kakashi urged them to leave with Tazuna. But Sasuke knew that was impossible, now that Kakashi is captured. As he tried to help free Kakashi, he was in the grasp of the demon Zabuza's clone. During this time, Kakashi tells them of the incident that changed Mist Village's graduation exam. The Mist Village's graduation exam was very different from Leaf Village, where they had friends pitted against friends in a fight to the death, but one year one kid who wasn't even a ninja killed hundreds of that year's students, and that was Zabuza. This time the clone aimed for Naruto and kicked him, sending him flying, and his forehead protector disengaged from his head where his clone stepped on it, saying that they were not ninjas but fakers. Naruto, scared out of his wits, was going to flee, but then he saw Goku, who engaged Zabuza's clone, who were fighting evenly. Zabuza swings, he misses. Goku countered attacked with his power pull but was blocked by the sword, and so forth. Why can't I do anything to protect everyone? No, I won't give up, Naruto screamed in his head. When he slammed his left arm down, he felt the pain and flashbacks of Iruka-sensei giving him the protector and the time which he promised on the pain that he would not run away and wouldn't need anyone to help him. He attempts to attack Zabuza but was blocked and kicked, but this time Naruto had grabbed his protector from underneath Zabuza. Goku, who followed immediately with a punch to Zabuza's face which sent him twirling. Naruto uses his shadow clones and they all attack Zabuza. He throws a shuriken towards Zabuza, aiming for the real Zabuza, but he catches this one, but another shuriken emerges in the shadow of the shuriken, which Zabuza dodges easily. That shuriken then proved to be Naruto in disguise, and he flings a kunai towards Zabuza. Zabuza, dodging the kunai, lets go of the prison and was going to slash Naruto, but Kakashi stops him just in time. But as soon as Zabuza's guard was dropped, a wave of energy was shot towards him, which engulfed his entire upper right torso. Kakashi has a special eye called the Sharingan. It was developed from the eye of the Hyuga clan. The Sharingan was a bloodline limit ability which should have only been passed down to certain people in the Uchiha clan. Kakashi is not from the Uchiha clan, so we wonder how he got it. It is said to have surgically put in there, that is why he only has one. When he uses the Sharingan, he is able to do any jutsu that a ninja does. In this case, it would be the water clone. They fight Zabuza and Kakashi, and then Kakashi messes with Zabuza's mind in order to do the waterfall technique, which almost kills Zabuza, who is left in a near-to-death state by his companion. Naruto gets pissed when the little kid about his age killed Zabuza. But Goku had a strange feeling about this. Kakashi falls unconscious because he drained himself in the fight. He wakes in the bridge Belider's house and says he wouldn't be able to move properly for a week. He tells Sasuke, Naruto, Goku and Sakura that Zabuza is still alive because the tracker didn't aim for any organs and didn't work on the body then and there, which is highly unusual. Naruto seemed happy because now he can have another chance to bring Zabuza down, to which Goku smiled too. You then see Zabuza lying in a bed with Haku at his side. Haku says, if I didn't interfere, Zabuza, you would be dead right now. The guy that hired Zabuza to kill the bridge builder starts to talk dirty about Zabuza, which upsets Haku. Haku says, don't you dare touch him, and grabs his arm and almost breaks it. Then as fast as light he takes out the two bodyguards. When they leave, you see that Zabuza had a weapon and was going to kill the guy. Haku says that would have been foolish because he was their best cover. Meanwhile, Kakashi was trying to teach Sakura, Naruto and Sasuke how to climb a tree only using their chakra. Goku couldn't do that, so he just started punching and kicking practice. Naruto doesn't get far before falling and crashing hard on his head. Sasuke tries next because Naruto is still in pain. He doesn't get far before the tree starts to crack under the tension. He says to himself, if you use too much chakra the tree will break, and if you don't use enough chakra you end up like Naruto. Kakashi thinks to himself, well, that is what I expected from Naruto and Sasuke, and then is distracted by Sakura, who says that it's fun, and then they all turn to see Sakura at the top. Kakashi motivates Sasuke and Naruto by insulting them and with a glance at each other try Aegean. When Naruto isn't having much success and looks like he is going to have a fit, leans over to Sakura and asks her, since she is good at it in all, for some advice, then says for her not to tell Sasuke. As Sakura and Naruto talk, Goku was now lying down sleeping like the child he was. Kakashi thinks to himself, Naruto and Goku have almost even amounts of chakra than Sasuke and probably has more chakra than myself, he said to himself. Later, Naruto and his comrades to the country of the wave. Naruto meets a young boy who keeps insisting that he will fail on his mission and die. But the truth is that the reason the young kid is so sour is because his father was killed by the man who is after the bridge-maker. Well, the boy thought his father was the absolute best, so if he got defeated no one else may even stand a chance. Well, the father was a hero to the country of Wave. He saved them from floods to many other troubles. In one day he dies the day the antagonist comes along and murders him. The man called Hero. Days later, two of Gato's henchmen attack Tezuna's home, planning to kidnap Tsunami in order to force Tezuna to stop building the bridge. They prepare to kill Inari, but Tsunami promises to kill herself if they harm him. Touched by the bravery of his mother, his grandfather, and Team 7, Inari stands up for himself and tries to stop the kidnappers. Before they can cut them down, Naruto appears to save Inari and defeat them both. He congratulates Inari for the courage it took to risk his life to save his mother's, then leaves to join the rest of his team. Meanwhile, Sasuke, along with Goku, and Haku begin fighting. Although Haku is a skilled opponent, Sasuke is being beaten in terms of speed but is able to manage. Goku on the other hand, Goku charged at Haku, who stopped his fighting with Sasuke, who was catching his breath. As Goku was thrown by Haku, he recovered and landed gracefully on the ground. Sasuke, however, started to attack viciously at Haku to make good use of what he learned during his training and pushes Haku to his limits. Irritated that they're doing so well, Haku uses his trump card, demonic mirroring ice crystals. "What is this? Jutsu?" Sasuke said to no one in particular, but Goku answered for him. "I think is a move that will allow him to box us, and, seeing as he can't beat both of us at once." Goku answered him. "You're right, you two were worthy opponents, but I can't let this drag out. I must end this quickly for Zabuza. And you ought to know it's possible for me to move between the mirrors at the speed of light." Sasuke was shocked that anyone could move this fast. Goku merely smirked. "This sound fun. I can't wait to actually see this technique in Turtle Helmet fighting stance. Come on, I'm ready," Goku said with a smile as Sasuke was confused about Goku's behavior. Haku obliged. He started to draw his senbuu and soon all of the others did as well, and without a second thought they all launched their attack. Sasuke drawed a kunai knife in an effort to block the attacks. Goku, however, simply dodged them all with a bit of effort. Haku, who couldn't believe that someone could match his speed, flew out of the mirror behind Goku and Sasuke and tried to take out the main threat out. Goku. He was a second too slow. Goku turned around and swiftly caught Haku's senbuu, who was shocked that he held the tip of it. "Sasuke, now you chance." Goku told Sasuke prepared his fire style, Grand Fireball Jutsu. As he screamed the attack, Goku swung Haku to the ground. As Sasuke shot the attack, Goku held him pinned to the ground as the fire came closer. Before it struck, Haku dispersed into water, which left Goku by himself. Too shocked about what Haku did, Goku didn't have time to escape. "Get out of the way, you'll be burned to smithereens," Sasuke ordered Goku, who stood his ground. Then there was a convulsion of heat being twisted everywhere within the crystals. Goku was holding the attack in his hand and was trying to destroy it with force. Sasuke, who was in awe, didn't notice Haku coming behind him for the kill. But then a savior came to his rescue, the one and only Naruto Uzumaki. Haku, who received the punch, noticed that this was the boy who he met in the forest a couple of days prior. "Don't worry, the main hero always comes in the last second to save the day," Naruto pronounced his entranced, which everyone heard, including Zabuza and Kakashi along with Sakura and Tezuna, who all sweat dropped. "Sorry I took so long, Sasuke. What in the world is that heat blast doing?" he asked Sasuke, who glared Naruto down, but at that time Goku crushed the fireball, which was a relief to Naruto, who had on a jumpsuit. Goku looked at his hand. They were a bit damaged but nothing he couldn't handle. He looked to see Naruto and Sasuke glancing at himself. "What is something on my face?" Goku asked with a smile. Well, let's just focus at the task at hand right now," Naruto said as he glared at Haku along with everyone else. "Well, it seems I misjudged you three from earlier, when you guys fought against Zabuza," Haku said as he flew backwards in the crystal behind him. "But, the truth be told, I was waiting for all of you to come so I could finish you all off at once, and now that I've seen all your moves, I know your strength, weaknesses and techniques." Haku finished, while everyone looked at Haku in a calm expression. Before Sasuke began to doubt himself now, but just 10 his eyes were so menacing they were red with 2 tomos in his right eye. I will not lose to you or anyone. I have a mission I must complete before that, so that being said I will kill yo, Sasuke declared and then prepared another grand fireball. He shot it and it was way bigger than the previous one, with a radius of half the circle they were in due to the crystals. Sorry, I can't allow that to happen, Haku said as he raised hand after doing a fast hand sign. A wall of water quickly vaporized it. Kakashi attempts to come to their aid but is stopped by Zabuza. As they try to attack Haku, but their efforts are quickly neutralized because of Haku's extreme speed, except Goku, who was taking minimal damage. Haku asks that they stop trying to escape since he has no interest in killing them. He will if he needs to, if it means preserving his dreams of being useful to Zabuza. Worried about what will happen to the genin, Kakashi prepares to fight Zabuza so that he can provide assistance. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto says angrily. No Naruto. Sasuke. A bunch of Narutos are flying through the air and without hesitation, Haku glides from mirror to mirror stabbing the Narutos and Sasuke. Air. Again then, shouts Naruto. Shadow Clone Jutsu stop Naruto, Sasuke yells. Again there are a lot of Narutos jumping at the mirror growling then falling, but Sasuke notices the drops of water in front of him splitting up into smaller drops. Needles come flying out of nowhere and begin slicing scars on Sasuke. Air. Growls Naruto. Sasuke then says Naruto, can you try again? Alright, Shadow Clone Jutsu shouts Naruto. Poof. Naruto's screaming at the mirrors then falls because of Haku's time. Sasuke kicks at a puddle of water and examines the time between each drop of water breaking up. Immediately, he summons a fireball jutsu and the second he sees Haku in the corner of his eye he inhales and blows. Zabuza attacks Kakashi before he has a chance to reveal his Sharingan. Kakashi blocks the attack but Zabuza is unconcerned, having learned from their previous encounter. Haku had watched their battle and realized that the Sharingan apparent mind-reading abilities were only an illusion. To avoid falling prey to the same trick twice, Zabuza coats the area in a thick mist to reduce visibility and also fights with his eyes closed, both factors making it impossible for the Sharingan to hypnotize him. Kakashi having lost his advantage, Zabuza takes the opportunity to try and kill Tazuna. Kakashi appears before Tazuna at the last second to block the attack. Sasuke, Naruto and Goku, but to a lesser degree to the latter, are becoming exhausted by Haku's relentless attacks. However, the attacks are becoming increasingly less successful, with Sasuke slowly being able to not only follow Haku's fast movements but to react and avoid the attacks entirely. Realizing that this is because Sasuke has awakened his own Sharingan eyes, Haku moves to kill Naruto so that he will have an easier time fighting Sasuke. Meanwhile, Kakashi has been badly wounded by Zabuza. Zabuza points out that he will soon die just like Sasuke and Naruto, but Kakashi has faith in them in their survival. Elsewhere, Goku and Naruto finds that Sasuke has used himself as a shield against Haku's attack. Naruto asks why Sasuke would do that, but Sasuke does not know why. He laments that he did not have a chance to kill his brother before seeming to die. Enraged by the loss of Sasuke, after everything you've done to my friends, Naruto turns over his shoulder shouts, I'm gonna murder you. Naruto vowed to kill Haku in a demonic glare. In his anger, Naruto unknowingly taps into the chakra reserves of the Nine Tails. Kakashi senses this and, worried that the seal that keeps the fox sealed within Naruto has been broken, decides it is time to finish his battle with Zabuza. Goku was amazed that Naruto had this much energy that was almost close to Master Roshi when he is suppressed. When he sees that Naruto's mysterious chakra source also heals all the damage he has sustained, Haku tries to flee. In one quick motion, Naruto avoids one of Haku's attacks, which Goku noticed, and catches Haku. He then punches Haku in the face, sending him flying and shattering his ice prison. Naruto charges to deliver the finishing blow, and Haku turns to face his death, revealing that the mask he has been wearing in the entire battle has been broken. Which showed a shocking discovery once the mask fell off. Ha Haku! The nine-tailed container said, completely shocked at this development. Blood was sliding off of Haku begins to speak. Aren't you going to kill me? Haku asked bluntly. Goku walked up to Naruto, who didn't know how to proceed with the situation at hand. He places his hand on Naruto's shoulder and nods to him with a smile. Naruto glanced back towards Haku and says, "No, I won't. You're not able to defend yourself anyway. If I killed you now I'll look pathetic for striking down a helpless shinobi," Naruto said, which made Haku give a look of awe at Naruto's generosity.
"But, why? I killed your friend, did I not?" the Mist Nin said, to which Goku happily replied.
"Nah, he's still alive, just lost consciousness, he should oopal of days," Goku said when he looked at Sasuke over his shoulder. They were waiting for a reply from Naruto to see what he was going to do, but Haku decided to break the moment of silence by telling them his childhood. He says that he was born in a snowy village in the water country, and that his parents were happy with their lives, but one day his father killed his mother and then tried to kill Haku. The water country experienced many civil wars amongst bloodlines. As Haku was playing one day, he showed that he had one of these talents. Haku's father soon discovered the secret and came to kill them. Haku escaped but killed his father in the process. Haku was unwanted amongst everyone, however Zabuza was the only one that would take him in. After that day Haku has given all his loyalty to Zabuza. This made Naruto even more believe in the choice he chose. Goku had a serious expression on his face, thinking on what to do now. As they were talking, Kakashi and Zabuza were still fighting. Kakashi performs the Ninpo summoning. Earth element, tracking Fang no Jutsu. "Hehehe. You're trapped, Kakashi of the Sharingan," Zabuza said as he motions around the mist to divert Kakashi's away from his location, but suddenly several nin dogs attacked from the ground, attacked and captured him. "It's over, Zabuza, give up or be put down permanently," the copy ninja said boldly, which was to no avail.
"Ha, you're a fool. Why would I give up if I'm trying to make as much as money as possible to benefit Haku and I?" Zabuza queried. Chiz made Kakashi to stumble on his words for a second.
While this is happening, Haku is still begging Naruto to kill him. He says that because he did not fulfill what Zabuza asked him to do, Zabuza will no longer want him. He did not fulfill what he was told to do. Just then Goku vanished from Naruto and Haku, and appeared between Kakashi and Zabuza. "Goku, what are you doing over here? Shouldn't you be where Naruto is?" he asked the Saiyan. He got his answer when Gato showed up. "So, the demon of the hidden mist fails I. Well, you're now, how do you say? Expendable now, ha 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 ha," the monopolizer said with his group of bandits. Naruto walked with Haku arm around his shoulder, towards Goku and the other. Sakura, finally out of her shock, runs towards Goku, who had Sasuke, completely forgetting a confused Tazuna. "Kakashi, I'm sorry but Haku and I must end our fight with you guys. We have to take care of that little shit so we can take all his loot," he said without turning, facing Gato with devastating killer intent, which made him back up a few feet. "Zabuza-sama, what are we going to do?" Haku asked with lethargy in his voice. "No. We're going to take this bastard out anyway for treating the people here like trash," Naruto yelled and prepared his shadow clones to deal with bandits, who were now terrified. Goku walks up besides Naruto. "Let's do this, Naruto," Goku exclaimed before he bumped fists with Naruto, and so it began. With about 30 plus bandits vs 100 plus Narutos, Goku, Kakashi, Zabuza, and Haku, they let it loose on Gato and his men with no mercy, which led to Gato being decapitated by Zabuza's blade. After that little skirmish was over, Inari and the villagers were present a bit too late to do battle with Gato and his men. At that time Sasuke wakes up and Sakura cheerily explains that they completed their mission, since Zabuza quit targeting Tazuna. Naruto later smiled as Inari hugged him from helping the village, but as fast as his strength increased while fighting Haku, he was sleeping on Inari, who fell over. Everyone laughed at this little antic. Even Sasuke let out a small smirk. Goku was extremely proud though, judging from the look on his peaceful face. After about a few days the team begins to leave, with Naruto knowing the bridge was named the Great Naruto Bridge. After completing their mission in the Land of Waves, Team 7 returns to Konohagakure. Goku tells the group that he's got to go see his master to go and enter a tournament that's being held in a couple of days from now. Naruto, though sad, wished Goku the best of luck. Goku also told Naruto to continue training the way he showed before to increase his strength, speed, and endurance. After a couple of days Naruto training himself, which he noticed was working as planned. The team continued to do missions to improve their teamwork. Although Sasuke saved Naruto's life, courtesy of his enviness over Sasuke having Sakura's attention, Their teamwork seems to have got even worse than before, with Naruto intent on beating Sasuke, causing him to mess up on subsequent missions. Kakashi decides that their teamwork is too off that day and sends them all home. Before leaving, Sasuke tells Naruto in a matter-of-fact manner to simply get stronger than him before telling Sakura, who had suggested that the two work of their own teamwork skills, that she was worse than Naruto. Konohamaru and his two friends, Udon and Moegi, would later stalk Naruto. As antics ensue, Konohamaru accidentally bumps into a foreign ninja who he then insults, causing the latter to threaten to kill him. Naruto attempts to save Konohamaru from the newcomer and did just that, and a blink of an eye. Just as the mysterious ninja is about to hit Naruto, he noticed that Naruto didn't so much as flinch. "What? You're not scared, big shot?" he yelled, waiting for an answer. "No," Naruto replied with a glare, which the blonde girl with him noticed and started chuckling slightly. "Shut up, you little turd." He attempted to punch Naruto, who caught it, but was about to be hit with the newcomer's other fist, but was stopped by a kunai cutting his face from above. And a tree above Sasuke saves Naruto from receiving a punch, to Naruto's disappointment of having his shine stolen again. Just as the mysterious ninja is about to attack Sasuke, another appears, telling the first to stop playing around. He reveals himself as Gaara of the Sand Waterfall. The Kunoichi with them later introduced herself as Tamari. The three ninja from the other village reveal they're from Sanagakure in the Land of Wind, and are in Konohagakure to attend the Chunin exams. Meanwhile, all the Jonin are gathered along with the third Hokage. He announces that the Chunin exams will take place in 7 days on July 1st.
On the flying Nimbus, Goku was eagerly awaiting to see his master, so that he can continue his training and see his best friend, Krillin. Closing in on a small island, Goku had a grin on his face, screaming with energy, "Hey guys, I'm back. Master Roshi, Krillin, Turtle," he continued to scream. Out of the door came an extremely old man, a bald kid, and a huge tortoise.
"Goku, is that you?" Krillin said, not believing his eyes. Rubbing his eyes from trying to see Goku, with the sun obscuring his sight. After Goku descended, it took Krillin a while for his vision to return to him. Master Roshi just nodded to let the mini Saiyan know he heard him. Turtle shook Goku's hand and returned in the house to finish his sleeping. "So you finally came back, huh? Can't say I blame ya," Krillin said jokingly, to which Goku smiled too. "Nah. I thought should come back to compete in the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament. And besides, Master said about 8 months ago that he will be taking us, if I remember correctly," Goku said, holding up 4 fingers, which made Krillin sweat drop. Looking to Roshi, Goku asked Roshi were they going to get to train some more, but to his and Krillin's surprise, he said they are ready enough to fight in the tournament. As Roshi grabbed a suitcase beside him, he opened it up to reveal 2 nice tailored suits.
"These are for you too, so that we look like ordinary citizens upon our arrival, and to make sure to be seen with 2 barbarians," Roshi said as he closed it back up. "Anyway, let's come inside to eat. I'm sure Launch is cooking dinner right now," Roshi said as he motioned for them to follow. In a 4. There were 2 genins seen, one practicing with kunai knives and one flexing his body. "Hey, did you hear that? For the first time in about 4 or 5 years, there are going to be rookies in the exams." A boy in an ugly green spandex outfit. The girl next to him had twin buns in her head while aiming at wooden targets. "No way. It's probably just a rumor or something," she says, while her friend stands up. "No, not just that. One of the team is that of Kakashi's squad," he said, waving his hand up at her, trying to back up his statement. The girl walked a fair distance from a nearby target, tossing a knife up and down, and threw it without looking, and smirked when she saw her results. "That sounds interesting. But in the end," she said before walking up to her friend in green, "you have to feel some sort of pity for them," a guy with lavender eyes said with a smile. Elsewhere in Konoha, on a nearby bridge, Team 7 were waiting on their teacher to show up, but as usual he's late. "Man. How come he's always so late? Why does he always asks us to be on time when he's never on time himself?" Sakura yelled, which, truth be told, got on Sasuke and Naruto's nerves. "Hey Sakura-chan. No need to be so loud, he'll be here when he get here," Naruto said, crouching on the ledge of the bridge, which made her cock an eyebrow. "Oh, what? You're telling me that you don't like hearing my voice?" Sakura said with her arms crossed.
Sasuke looked over towards Naruto and was examining him and his behavior. He seemed different, like he doesn't even noticed her when she was all in his personal space, but shrugged it off. No, it's not that, but you don't have to be loud about it, Naruto said as he hopped off of the ledge to go lay down and take a nap under a tree. As an hour passed, Kakashi walked up to the group. Where you've been, Kakashi-sensei? Naruto asked casually. Well, I got lost on the path of life and, he says but trails off, pulling out 3 sheets of paper. Nominate you for the Chunin exams. Here are your sheets, Kakashi said with no motivation. They each glances at each other paper, and back at each other. Sakura was nervous again, but Naruto and Sasuke grinned softly. Naruto, out of joy, bear hugs Kakashi with a strong grip that he didn't miss. What in the world, his grip feels incredibly strong, in it that it's been about a few weeks before we came back from the wave country, Kakashi thought. Okay, you can put me down now, Naruto. He chuckled a little. Look though, even though this is a nomination, you each have an opportunity not to take the test, he explains, which eases Sakura's heart rate. If you plan on taking the exams, go to room 301 by 4 p.m. and give them your slips, that is all. Later, he said as he disappeared. This sounds intriguing. There's going to be lots of strong opponents there, Sasuke said with a sly smile. Yeah, I kind of wish Goku was here now so that we can duke it out with some of the strong guys. Like him, Naruto boasted but mumbled the last part, thinking of Gaara. As they walked away, Naruto noticed Sakura behind them and walked back to her to see what's wrong with her. Hey Sakura-chan. What wrong? You seem upset about something, he said as he reached out to rest his hand on her right shoulder. Nah, Naruto, I'm sorry, I was just spacing out, she said, doing a fake laugh, waving her hand in front herself, hoping Naruto don't see through her, which failed. You don't have to hide it, Sakura-chan, I'm your teammate and, Naruto was saying before swallowing his saliva, making a gulping sound. And friend, he finished. Expecting her to hit him, he closed his eyes a little, but didn't receive nothing but another hug. This one, however, is different than the other one. It felt like she needed this calm herself. Thank you, Naruto, but seriously, I'm fine, Sakura says and turns around preparing to leave. She stops and tells Naruto if he tells anyone this, she shove his foot through his rectum. Afterwards she gave him a small wink and ran off, leaving Naruto stunned and scared but prepared to leave himself to get some sleep. At Kame's house, today's the day the champions come out. Outside, Roshi was in his suit with Launch by his side with Krillin in Goku's suits. So are you boys ready? Roshi asked, looking down on them, who both nodded. Okay, then you may both remove your shells again, the perverted man said. Not a moment too soon, Krillin says. Him and Goku remove their shells and soon notice something, a big difference. Hey, the bald boy said as he moved both arms in a circle-like motion. Yeah, I feel it, to Krillin. I feel so light now, Goku exclaimed, jumping around. Hey, you two, try jumping as high as you can. They both looked at their master and jumped, but this jump putted them all the way in the troposphere. Whoa! Unreal! They both yelled in unison. When they touched the ground, they both laughed together. Okay, that's enough now. Let's get going, shall we? He said as he packed the suitcase. Good luck, Goku, and you too, Krillin. Launch said, sweetie. Thanks, they both said at the same time, making them look at each other. Launch, I'm entrusting you with the house, okay? Roshi said as he looked towards her. Bye guys, give it your all, she yells to them as they drove away. After they arrived, they caught a passing taxi to take them to the stadium. The taxi was kind of stinky and Goku found a pair of red panties under the seat. Hey taxi driver, you a girl? Goku asked, clueless. What the, of course, you dumb bra. He stopped once he found Goku wearing the panties on his head. Hey, where you get that? The taxi driver asked, breathing heavily. Under you seat. Goku and company laugh. When they reach their destination, Roshi gave the amount of money to him and apologizes to the man, but knows it won't help. While Roshi was registering them, Goku and Krillin admired the huge crowd of people. Come on guys, before we be late, Roshi said, pointing to the entrance of the tournament. Tay announcer let everyone know whoever was to fight to come this way, which the three obliged. Well, I can't go with you any further, so good luck to you too. Roshi wishes them before opening his suitcase. Here, I almost forgot to give these two outfits to you two guys, he finished. After they wore their new attire, Roshi gave them the heads up on how the tournament goes. As they walked into the room, Goku and Krillin were checking out the fighters. "These guys look strong," Goku said cheerfully. "Yeah, well, I'm starting to lose my confidence," Krillin said as he walked with Goku. "I wish to welcome you to the Budokai held every 5 years," the old announcer said. "Today there are 137 participants. Out of all of these only 8 will make it to the finals," he continued. "Well then. Here are the rules. If you fall out of the ring, you use or can no longer continue or cry. It is strongly forbidden to kill your opponent or use any form of weapons. All fights will last a minute. You'll be divided into 4 groups, of which there will be 2 finalists. Well, now determine the pairings," the old announcer said. When everyone chose their numbers, it was Goku who had 70 and Krillin who had 93. "Hey, we're both in the same group. What a shame," Goku states. "I don't think we will face each other anyways," Krillin says to Goku. "I'm glad I don't have to fight you. Heck, I'll probably lose my first match. Do you think Roshi's training will be enough to win, because I'm having doubts?" Krillin says to Goku. Goku smiles to his bet friend and tells him, "Don't worry, we were tough enough to survive." Goku tries to encourage him. "Group 3 will begin. Numbers 69 and 70 will begin," the referee said. Goku flips in the ring ready. "It's already MYS. Good luck, buddy," Krillin says. The next day in Konoha. "Hey Sakura-chan, Sasuke." Naruto greeted his team in front of the academy. Sakura gave him a wave and Sasuke merely nodded with a smile. Naruto, who knew what this meant, smiled as well at Sasuke, and they were impatient to what kind of opponents awaited them. Standing outside of the building were other ninja as well, relaxing on benches and whatnot while talking about how the exams will be. As they enter the building, Naruto saw Hinata sitting down in the lobby, obviously bored. Naruto told his team he will catch up in about an hour. They agreed and said they will meet on the 3rd floor staircase. As they took their leave, Naruto walked up towards Hinata, who was sighing. "Hey Hinata-chan, would you like some company?" he asked her, which made her not believe her ears. Looking up, she nearly fainted but stopped it from occurring. Getting herself together, she scooted over to allow him to sit on her left. "Naruto-kun, not that I don't mind you sitting with me, but what is it? Something wrong?" she asked, not looking into his deep sea blue eyes. Naruto looked confused at this question but answered her anyway. "Well, I seen you looking bored, so I thought I'd talk with you for a minute, if it okay," said Naruto as he slumped, instantly grabbed his hand when he rose and brought him back down, which surprised Naruto of her strut. "I didn't mean it like that, I just thought you had to get to the room where the exams are going to take place," Hinata said as she released her grip off of Naruto's wrist. "And besides, I was waiting for my team to come from their errand, our sensei. And I'm also thinking about not entering this. I don't want Kiba nor Shino to be disappointed in my pathetic skill," she said with another sigh. Naruto grabbed her hands and said, "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Never forget that, Hinata-chan," he said with such passion that it made Hinata look at him in awe, but that was interrupted when her teammates came back. "Hey Naruto, why aren't you with your team?" the quiet Shino asked as he adjusted his glasses. "Sorry guys, but I can't chit-chat now. You guys are here now, so I must be off. Later," Naruto said as he waved them off. Everyone, excluding Hinata, were looking dumbfounded as he vanished from their sights. Hinata only thought one thing: Naruto Uzumaki-kun. At the tournament. So they're really gonna let that runt fight? A random contestant said. "I guess so, I feel bad for the kid," another replied. As Goku was warming up his body, a humongous guy got in the ring, shaking it violently. "What do we have here? Beating you should be easy," the overgrown man said, looking down on Goku, who had a serious look in his face. "I'll show you what I can do," Goku declared, nothing holding him back except the referee's go signal. "Okay, you have 1 minute, begin," he announced, at speed that should be impossible for a kid. Goku directed his fist to the man, but the big guy prepared for it. However, Goku went underneath the man, which caused the big dude to lose his sight. "Where did he go?" he questioned as the audience laughed. "Hey, behind you," laughed slightly, Goku said as he taps him, to which surprised the audience, which knocked the guy off the ring and made him roll out of the area into a wall outside. "Well, number 70 wins," the ref said as he raised his hands in the air. "I can't," What just happened? Someone says. That idiot. He lost his footing and fell. The guy next to him said as he sweated nervously. Oh, now I see it. Another said as he was relived, but felt it wasn't true. You're so lucky he failed out of the ring, Goku. Krillin exclaims as he approached Goku. Locking at his hand, he knew what the truth was. I'd advise you not to use your full power when you fight, okay? Goku suggested. What do you mean, man? Krillin asked, scared at how Goku asked him a little bit. Krillin? A voice called from behind the bald Migot. Turning around, he felt his heart drop in a pool of ice. It's been a while, yeah. A fat guy bald like Krillin said. Hello. Krillin said as he looked extremely nervous. What are you doing here? The fat guy asked. You can't possibly be competing, right? The skinny one said as he pats Krillin on the head while the other fight kept going on as they speak. Well, I was planning on it, yeah. Krillin said as he removed his hand from his head. We told you already, you don't have the skills to fight, let alone win. The skinny one said with arrogance. What hash are you? The fat guy asked Krillin. Number 93, he said as remembered the hash on his sheet. Well, karma must be a bitch, huh? That means you will be fighting me, the skinny one said as he chuckled a little. What? Krillin thought, scared to the bones now. There was no way he could defeat him. Well, don't hurt yourself by hitting me, he said, walking off with Fatso, both who were laughing their butts off. Idiots. Goku says to himself. Who are those guys, Krillin? He asked, looking at him, caring for his friend. They went to the temple I used to train at, and he's pretty strong. I'm going to go give up. Krillin says, which got Goku's attention. Are you crazy? Go all out against them. He cheered for Krillin. Besides, confidence is feeling satisfied with who and what we are. Don't be afraid, we trained with Roshi after all, so don't worry. Okay. Goku stated to him. Whis racied Krillin's spirit tenfold. Now it will number 93 and 94. The ref says. Good grief. Krillin said as he took a deep breath and walked to the ring. You're so lucky. The fat guy said as the skinny one got in the ring with a smile. I'll take care of this in one attack, he said with pure conceit. Go ahead and sock him good. Goku encouraged Krillin further. Okay. But don't keep speaking nonsense. He owed Goku, but in his mind he was happy Goku believed in him. Begin. The referee yelled. Ha, ha. He laughed as he straight-forwarded to Krillin with his fist about to connect. As Naruto makes it to the second floor, he sees Sasuke and Sakura behind a crowd of ninja. Ignoring them, he made his way to his team. Naruto, why are you back so early? Sakura asked, but nearly added a prefix she probably would have added, but she was still indifferent towards him, but he was growing on her. Yay, sorry that I lied, Sakura-chan. I just talked to Hinata-chan for a few minutes before her team came back, he said as he heard a hit sound. Huh? You plan to take the Chunin exam with your low-level skills? You should just give now, a voice said. You're just a kid. The guy who had spiky hair said, while his partner agreed. Please let us through. A girl in a pink blouse said as she walked up. The guy with spiky hair was going to hit her, which made her stumble backwards to fall on the ground, but she felt arms around her and saw a boy in orange in front holding the guy's wrist. She looked up to see Sasuke holding her and back in front of her. Fast. Someone said. Why would you hit one of your fellow shinobi, that low even for a Chunin? Naruto said as he released his hand off of Tei's spiky guys. Besides, this is the second floor anyways, we are to go to the third, right? Sakura, Naruto? Sasuke asked, which both nodded to helping up the bun-haired girl. Ah, you noticed, huh? The guy in the bandana said. Sasuke smirked. But then, you just seen through it, he said as he goes for a sweep kick. Sasuke going for a high kick, but a green and orange blur bypassed them. Sasuke see a green dude holding his kick, and the Chunin saw a short orange kid holding kunai into his pants, leaving his legs stuck. Who is this guy? Sasuke thought in anger. Lee asks Sakura to be his girlfriend, but she turns him down before leaving. The two genin actually chirk that this exam's competitors seem promising. Lee follows Team 7 and challenges Sasuke. Glaring at the guy who they saw a few moments ago, they were quite annoyed with this guy's presence but obliged when he demanded the group, or more specific, Sasuke Uchiha. What is it you want, freak? Sasuke said with a monotone voice. The kid looked dead seriously at Sasuke, who had a jolted look on his face. "You will fight me here and now," he said with pride. "Right now? What will you gain by such a trivial thing as a non-profession fight?" Sasuke said as he glared daggers at the bull-haired kid. Just as he spoke that sentence, Lee jumped from the balcony with speed no one could follow. He featly made it towards the wooden floor while he flipped his head to countenance at the Team 7. Suddenly Sasuke and company were feeling a bit nervous at their problematic situation. "Sasuke." Naruto let come out in a warning voice. Who was going to win? Naruto had a feeling that Sasuke wasn't no match for the boy who was before him. Not that he didn't have faith, but Sasuke didn't have as much training to be in the newcomers league, but stayed silent until necessary. "My name is Rock Lee. When you want to learn someone's name you must give yours first, right?" "Sasuke Uchiha," Lee said, pointing his thumb towards himself as he spoke. "So you know who I am?" he said with a stunned look. Lee ignored his question and fared in a strange fighting stance. "I want to fight you. I want to test my skills against the best of the village, the Uchiha clan," Lee said as he shifted his arms in a X-like form before set back into his prior stance. He then did something unexpected. He blew a kiss to Sakura, who dodged it nonetheless. Naruto was watching intensively at what was unfolding. He glanced to Lee, who had a smirk on his devious face as he awaited Sasuke's answer. "So you want to fight me even though you know of my clan? Okay, I'll take you on if you wish," Sasuke said as he stepped forward, but out of nowhere, Naruto charged fist first at Lee, who easily disposed of him with his leaf whirlwind technique, but as he was spinning, Naruto was already in his face, who aimed a heel kick towards him. He blocked it, but it was not as easy as he assumed. Naruto later did a back flip, then changing into a spiral, thus landing expertly on the ground, back where Sasuke was. "I wish not to fight you, I only wish to fight Sasuke," Lee said as he relaxed his guard. Naruto look instantly grew serious. He improved, but this gut was indefinitely stronger than him and Sasuke. "I didn't know Naruto was this fast, but at that Lee guy stopped his attack as if it was child's play," thought Sasuke, who was in disbelief along with Sakura. "I know, Lee, I was just trying to observe your skills and I must be honest." Naruto trailed off. "You are stronger than us," was all he said as he began to walk towards the door, but was halted by Sasuke. "What makes you believe he's stronger than me? I know that we improved in our spare time," Sasuke said with shock. "Sasuke, you can fight him if you chose, but you will lose in the end, even with your Sharingan. So be my guess, I'll be waiting in the room with the others." "Sakura-chan, you coming?" Naruto said as he continued to walk. "Yeah, okay, I'll be right there," she tells him as she looks back and forth to Naruto and Sasuke. She then ran off to catch up to Naruto. "HMPH, well, it seems you won't be getting that fight you want, until we meet again," Sasuke said as he ran after his team. Lee smirked at the wise decision as the team, but moreover, Naruto. Of course he could crush him and Sasuke simultaneously. Naruto and Sasuke intrigued him. He vanished as soon as he finished his thoughts on the two. Tournament, pre. As the battle began, Krillin saw his adversary coming with a punch. He automatically jumped above the man, and as he landed on the ground, he kicked off it to move at inhuman speeds with his kick aim and ready. Boom! The kick connect, which had the guy's lungs nearly empty. He soon was flung through the wall, which shocked everyone drastically. "Incredible," Krillin stated, dumbfounded of his new strength, also earning gasp for his unexpected victory. "Thanks to Roshi's, we're nearly unstoppable," Goku said as he pumped his biceps. "Number 93 wins," the ref said with hesitation. As all the fights progressed, Goku and Krillin were dominating the competition with incredible ease. Goku and Krillin at this point were assured that they will end up in the finals at this rate thanks to Roshi's training. Later, Krillin was up against a familiar Kung Fu master. As the fight began, the Kung Fu man swiftly kicked him in his stomach, sending him sliding on the ring platform. He soon followed up by elbowing him in his back, earning a grunt from Krillin. The man was panting hard as he threw everything he had into each attack. "That's too bad. He was pretty good," a shaved man said. "Who are you kidding? He didn't have a chance against him," a werewolf-like man said. Krillin raised with his tongue out, mocking his opponent. "Nah, I didn't even feel that," Krillin announced, shocking everyone except for Goku. "Wah! I kicked you at full strength, You shouldn't be able to talk let alone stand, impossible, he said as he backed away from the boy who examined his body. I guess Master Roshi's training paid off, he said as he commenced his attack. But he didn't get the chance because the man gave up knowing he couldn't win. Goku and Krillin approached the finals of the competition. As Goku was preparing for his next fight, Yamcha made his appearance. I heard that two kids were doing good, I figured one of them was Goku, he thought, rubbing his chin. As the referee watched both, the crowd grew more intense than ever before. Just as it quieted down, the ref yelled. Begin, he said as he got back. I can't lose to you, kid, I'll make this quick. The older man said, clearly underestimating Goku, who took a stance making him look like an airplane. Strange form, but no matter, it will only hurt for a moment. Take this, he said as he galloped to Goku and punched with his fast right. But to his shock, Goku vanished from his sight. Where'd he go? He said as he tried to search for him to no avail. The crowd soon gasped in awe. As soon as he heard this, he heard a voice behind him. Here I am, Goku exclaimed as drove for a kick to his opponent, who cartwheeled out of harm's way. The pressure wasn't let up as Goku soon dashed towards him with an elbowing punch. The man put up both arms as he tried to stop Goku's attack, but Goku feinted it and tripped his now hurting opponent. As he tried to get up, he felt a tugging on his leg. Glancing back, his worst nightmare was staring at him with a huge grin plastered on his face. 1, 2. Goku counted as the man tried to get free, but was failing. What are you doing? He says to Goku, who just ignores him. And 3. Goku said before he swung him around and launched him from the arena. He will proceed to the top 8. The ref stated as Goku cheers in complete happiness. Great job, Goku, you showed them who's boss, Krillin said to Goku, who embraced his best friend. Next match will be between S93 and 97, the ref said as it caught everyone's attention. Krillin, you got make it to the final 8, Goku said hyper. No problem, I got it, Goku, Krillin said as he smiled in assurance. As Krillin stared at his opponent, Goku heard someone call out to him. Who are you? Goku asked. He knew he saw this person someplace before but can't put his finger on it. The man smiled at Goku, and then proceeded in a fighting pose he will remember.
Wolf Fang Fist. He yells out his technique, knowing Goku would remember that.
Oh my gosh, Goku said with agnosticism. Konoha Shinobi Hei walked to the door. They saw their sensei at the door. Putting his book in his pocket, he faced his team. If I told the truth, Naruto or Sasuke would have pressured you to take the exam. Even if you want to, if Sasuke asked you, you would, even though it wasn't in your heart. For the sake of Sasuke. And, well, Naruto too, Kakashi said as he looked at the genin. So if only Sasuke-kun and Naruto-kun shown up. Sakura was assuring but was interrupted. The exam would have ended here. They would not have gotten any further. But you all came of your free will. You guys are my team and I'm proud of you guys. The copy ninja said with an eye smile, but Naruto soon walked forward though. Hey, Kakashi-sensei, what about Goku? Isn't he part of our team as well? Naruto asked as his sensei looked at him. Well, you won't be eliminated because the minimal of teams is 3 and with Goku that makes 4 total, so don't worry about it, okay Naruto? He explained as he stepped aside to allow his students to enter the double doors. Now go, he said as they opened the door. Yeah, let go, Sakura, Naruto, Sasuke said as they entered the room filled with other ninja from all over the world. Team 7 is stunned to find that there are only 3 of over 100 genin looking to become Chunin. They mingle with the members of Team 8 and Team 10, members of the same academy graduating class, but the fact remains that they are mere rookies in comparison to the other examinees. They are befriended by Kabuto, who gives them advice and intel on the exams and its participants. Although this is meant to intimidate them, Naruto loudly promises that he will defeat all of them. Naruto earns angry looks for his words. Team Dosu takes the opportunity to attack Kabuto for underselling their Otogakure during his explanation of the Chunin exams. To prevent the situation from escalating, the exam proctors, led by Ibiki, appear and settle things down. Revealing that the first phase of the exams will be a written test, much to Naruto's dismay, the genin are assigned seats. They are instructed to answer 10 questions within half an hour. If anyone is caught cheating too often they will be disqualified, as will the rest of their team. The entire team will also be disqualified if any one member fails to pass the test, much to the dismay of Sasuke and Sakura. While everything was happening at the World Tournament, Naruto and his group were able to get past the written exams, though what happened after the window broke reveal an attractive woman with a trench coat, with fishnets, and purple hair. Her name is Anko Midarashi. Beginning of flashback as the rookie genin looked terrified, except for Sasuke and Naruto of course. A tall ninja with white hair approached them informing them of who the Rain Ninja are. This made everyone gasp in surprise cause they didn't notice him. As they got in more conversation, he declared he will show them information with his ninja info cards. Just then Sasuke walked forward, looking at the white-haired male who had a smile on his face. "Hey, do you have everything on certain people or what?" Sasuke asked as he pointed towards the man to let him know he was talking directly to him. The man drew a few cards to his hand in a cool-like way and raised an eyebrow. "So you need some info on the competition? All right, but know that these cards are not 100% but it should be fairly close. Now who do you wish to know of?" Sasuke? Kabuto said as he began by placing the deck of cards on the floor, waiting on Sasuke to give him the names. "Gaara from the desert, Lee of the Leaf, and Naruto of the Leaf," he said as he waited for the info, but Naruto glanced to Sasuke at the oddity of him calling his name, but dropped it for now. As he placed 3 cards on the floor, he poured chakra in one of them and then Lee's name appeared. "Okay, he a year older than you guys. Mission history. D rank 20, C rank 12. His sensei is Guy. His taijutsu is incredible, and everything else is nothing. Also his teammates are Neji Hyuga and Tenten." Sasuke accepted this information, and nodded to tell Kabuto to continue. "Next is Gaara. Huh? Impossible. His record of not being injured is remarkable." Kabuto stated, shock including Naruto and Sasuke. "Is that possible?" Shino said to Kabuto, who shook his head. "I'm not sure but it highly possible, but as for everything else it's unknown, sorry. And last but not least, Naruto," Kabuto said as he poured chakra to the card. "Naruto Uzumaki, mission history. D rank 27, C rank 1. Interesting, his taijutsu is midway above genin level. His stats are 3 nin, 2, 5 tai, 1 gen, 1, 5 intel, 3 str, 3 spi, 4 sta, 0 hs, giving him a total of 18. Kabuto said, shocked at this kid's skills. "Compare his with mine," Sasuke said as he pointed to himself. Kabuto laughed inside his mind at how the Uchiha was getting angry but tried to keep it bottled in front of his classmates. "Very well," he said as he drew one more card and did the same as he did with the other cards. "Okay, he was saying before being interrupted by Sasuke telling him compare their stats. "Your stats as followed are 2, 5 nin, 2, 5 tai, 1, 5 gen, 2 intel, 2 str, 3 spi, 2 sta, 3 h, giving you a total of 18. 5. Kabuto said as he looked to see a Sasuke clenching his fists so hard they looked pale. "How can this dobe keep up with me, an Uchiha? I'm from a highly noble clan. He nothing but a joke far from the outside," Sasuke yelled in his head. As Kabuto explained what he said to the genin, most of them felt that their confidence dropped, but Naruto was calm throughout that whole session. End of flashback. Sasuke was in deep thought. He wasn't even listening to Anko's instruction. Damn, why is he so close to me? It's like ever since Goku showed up he was gradually improving. Wait. Could that be it? I remember seeing the two training a couple of months ago. Sasuke was in thought. He finally let it drop so he can get up to date on the next exam. As he left his thoughts, he saw Naruto barely dodging a kunai that was meant for his face, and was surprised that Naruto reacted by swiftly grabbing a kunai of his own and deflected it, but the ninja that threw it was already behind him with a kunai presses against his cheek. "You know I'm not too surprised by your reaction, brat, but keep in mind if you tell me my explaining is imitative. You got that, boy?" Anko said as she smiled sadistic at him, but she stopped when she realized that Naruto was gone from her grasp and was now standing face to face with her. "Sorry, but I can't allow you to intimidate me," Naruto said as he walked back to his team, making Anko blush at his words. "Naruto-kun is amazing," thought Hinata as she looked at him from a small distance. As Anko finished explaining the rules, She explains that the second phase of the Chunin exam will require the genin teams to obtain both an Earth Scroll and a Heaven Scroll upon entering the forest and make it to the building in its center within 5 days. Each team will be given one scroll, necessitating that they somehow take the second scroll from another team. After everybody signs consent forms releasing Konoha from responsibility in case of their deaths, the 26 teams of 3 are granted entry to the forest. It wasn't long before each team made their way through the vast forest, and before they know it, screams could be heard in the distance. On the outside of the forest, a certain purple-haired female was enjoying her dango and the horror screams that came from within. With our favorite ninjas. That was a scream, wasn't Naruto and Sasuke-kun? Sakura asked her team. Yeah, Naruto, what do you suggest we do? Sasuke asked while watching their backs, thus shocking Sakura greatly. But why can't you come up with a plan, Sasuke-kun? I know Naruto gotten smarter, but still. She trailed off in a whisper-like tone, but unknowingly to her Naruto heard her. Because I trust him, that. He replied back to Sakura, who nodded. Looking back at Naruto, he saw him walking towards them as he handed both of them a scroll. What's this, a replica? Sasuke asked as he received the scroll Naruto had handed to him, and then to Sakura. Yeah, I figured that since we Heaven Scroll we might as well not give it to each other, but... Naruto trailed off before he placed it in her hand, Sakura-chan. He finished with a smile. She didn't know how to respond to this, but she couldn't help but blush a little as she thanked him for believing in her. Well, let's get going. Sasuke said as the team vanished in the forestry, but what they didn't know was that someone was following them. Soon, very soon, a dark and twisted man sat who had no eyebrows. At the preliminary part of the tournament, Goku finally met Yamcha since they last meeting at Capsule Corp. Yamcha noticed that Goku trained with Roshi, and Goku confirmed that his training was extremely helpful. As Krillin won his match, Yamcha noticed the bald kid win with ease and questioned Goku on was he with him, to which Goku responded with a yes, disappointing Yamcha into knowing he wouldn't clear them with their superior skill and speed. Oh yeah, Goku, did you know that Bulma, Oolong, and Puar are here as well? Said Yamcha, which Goku questioned but then had a huge grin on his face. Really, wow, he exclaimed as he ran to go meet them. He came running backwards to Yamcha and asked, can you take me to them? He said, laughing, running in place, which made Yamcha sigh, but he smiled and accepted. The grand moment has at last arrived. The crowd were beginning to become restless as Tay waited for the final part of the tournament to begin. As Goku, Krillin, and Yamcha run through the crowd, Krillin asked Goku a question regarding their search. It's too crowded. How are we going to find them like this? He asked as he dodged a couple of more bystanders. As he said that, Goku jumped just high enough to scoop out the area, and in a fair distance he saw them. There they are, Goku said as he pointed towards them slowly descending. Meanwhile, while Roshi was on the floor, courtesy of his pervertness, Goku screamed Oolong's name so loud that it knocked him on his front side face first. As he got up, he dusted himself off and turned around and hugged him while also greeting him. Goku, how you been, man? Oolong asked as he released Goku. As he greeted everyone else, Bulma asked what was Goku doing here, and he replied by stating he was in the tournament, shocking Bulma. Are you in the final with Yamcha, Goku? Oolong asked Goku. Oh yeah, he behind us on the floor, I guess he's tired. Goku said, pointed at Yamcha, who was panting hard on the ground. Oh, and this is Krillin, he's my training partner, he said as he patted Krillin's shoulders. Pleased to meet you guys, Krillin said as he bowed. Hey, no need for formalities, we're all cool, right guys? Bulma said as she fist bumped her chest, everyone agreeing with as well. Master Roshi then approached them as he asked on the progress on their tournament status. So, did you boys make it to the finals? He asked, earning to wide grins from the two boys. You three qualified. That's wonderful, guys. She cheered for her friends. Congratulations. Their master said before an announcement was being said. The finals will be beginning shortly. The 8 finalists are to come and register for their match UPS, the announcement man said, making Goku, Krillin, and Yamcha take their leave, and unknowingly Roshi. In an undisclosed location, the 8 fighters all gather, awaiting further instructions. The announcer arrives and splits them up into groups of 2. These pairs will make up the first round of battles.
A man named Nam is pitted against a woman named Ranfin. Battle number 3. Krillin is put up against a disgusting fighter named Bacterian. Battle number 1. Goku is to fight a monster named Jiren. Battle number 4. And Yamcha against a mysterious name named Jackie Chun. The announcer calls the first battle, Krillin vs. Bacterian.
Let's do it, Krillin said as he walked towards the ring. Once he made it, Bacterian also came, nearly killing anyone standing by him with his awful smell. Okay, begin, the announcer said as he took some steps back. As the dong sound made itself known, Bacterian ran towards Krillin and tried to punch him, but he easily dodged it. As Krillin turned around, Bacterian opened his mouth and blew his breath at him, leaving Krillin stationary. As he was stuck, Bacterian dug in his undies and was scratching his private section. To everyone's dismay, he pulled out his hand and attempted another punch. Krillin barely dodged it but was hit by the foul scent he was giving away. Krillin was instantly on the floor trying to get fresh air. As he was struggling to get fresh air, Bacterian did something unforgivable, farted on Krillin's face. Oh god, Krillin, come snap out of it, Goku said, trying to get his friend up and continue the fight. As he began to stomp him in the ribs, Goku hatched an idea to save him. Hey Krillin, now that I think about it, you don't have a nose, so his smell shouldn't affect you. He screamed loudly for Krillin can hear him, which worked. As he expertly rose from the ground, he thanked Goku for saving him for being eliminated from the tournament. He returned to his fighting stance and glared Bacterian down to the bone. Alright, my turn, you stink bomb, Krillin said, which seemed to intimidate him. He tried to blow his funky breath on Krillin, but this time Krillin was completely unaffected. He began to shoot his melting spit at Krillin, hoping to hit him, but with Krillin's incredible speed it wasn't happening. As Bacterian shot one more, Krillin quickly dodged it and dashed towards him and delivered a painful kick to Bacterian's jaw, knocking him down, and Krillin followed up by farting in his face, knocking Bacterian out, thus Krillin winning the first match of the tournament, earning cheers from the crowd. After that first fight, everyone was just as thrilled for the second fight to come. Wind in the night sky was gusty as Team 7 continued to find Earth Scroll, who didn't have a lot of luck, and earning a boring Naruto to complain every 5 minutes. Seeing that there were no one close by, Sasuke used his hand to gesture for them to now take a break. Taking a big sigh, Sakura walked towards a close-by tree and rested on its threshold, taking a small nap. Meanwhile, Sasuke couldn't just shake the feeling of Naruto so close to him and skills. Why would a clanless person be able to rival a person of one of the most feared dojutsu in the world? This is nonsense, he said in a whisper, but Naruto seemed to have heard him. What's nonsense, Sasuke? Naruto asked, oblivious to Sasuke's growing anger towards him. Brushing it off, Sasuke turned around and decided to wonder for a bit, but was stopped by Naruto's voice. Hey, what's the matter with you? Naruto asked as Sasuke turned around with a death glare directed to Naruto, who was getting weak in the legs, but kept a strong face. Gritting his teeth, he lounged at Naruto and struck him in the face, knocking him to a tree, with Sasuke following up with his left arm, pinning him to the tree, losing some air. He opened his eyes to see Sasuke with his eyes red with his tomos in both sockets. So he finally gotten both in each eyes, huh? Naruto thought to himself. Being interrupted from his thought, gratitude of the Uchiha's powerful rib shot, making a trickle of blood fall off out of the side of his mouth. Getting his strength back, Naruto used the tree to hold his back towards it and lifted both his feet to kick him in the gut. What the hell? What are you doing, Teme? Naruto yelled, waking Sakura. I need to know, Sasuke said as he instantly pulled a kunai from his pouch and dashed towards a confused Naruto, who followed suit and drew his kunai, and clashed. What? No, what? He received an elbow towards his chest, making him land on his back. Sasuke-kun. Naruto-kun, why are you two fighting? The pink brunette said with a whimpering voice. Naruto looked up at her and then back towards Sasuke. I need to know my limits, Sasuke shouts at her, prompting Naruto to recover back on his feet. Wiping the blood off his mouth, he glared Sasuke down. Now's not the time. If you really want to test yourself, just wait until the exams are over, then I promised I will fight you, Naruto said coolly, with Sasuke looking at him with a bland and emotionless face. After a few moments of silence, Sasuke spoke. After the exams, he said as he hopped onto a tree. But as soon as he was about to land, a barrage of sand about 10 feet tall tried to ensnare him, but he easily avoids it. Naruto and Sakura shocked that a demonic aura was around the mysterious red head. Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha. You. Two birds in one stone. Ag, he said as Sand began to aim for Sakura, who Naruto called out for and tried to save. Sakura-chan no. Naruto yelled. Some time has passed since the fight with Bacterian, and now that everyone was waiting for the two finalists to make a move, Goku and Jackie-chun. Nobody wasn't making a sound, as a small gust of wind blew past Goku started by using the afterimage technique to confuse the skilled man. Little did he know was that Jackie was already prepared for a maneuver such as this and disappeared, knocking Goku down by using ki alone. Interesting, you have some skills, Gramps. Goku said as he recovered his footing, jumping in his fighting stance again. You're not bad yourself. Say, who trained you? Jackie asked the obvious question. My grandpa and Master Roshi. He responded, shocking the crowd on how he was trained by the strongest man in the world. Nodding, he dashed in a blur and punched Goku, but he caught his attack and quickly sweep-kicked Roshi, making him fall, but using one hand. Jackie used his momentum to bring his right leg down onto Goku, but he deflected the kick with his left hand and elbowed Jackie in the stomach, making him nearly fall out of bounds. Getting on one knee, Roshi prepared to gather his ki for an attack. Hey kid, if you trained with Roshi, then you must have known about the technique I gave him guidance for? Jackie said as he cupped his hands together, making Goku go wide-eyed in surprise. What? You can do it too? He asked in surprise. Beginning the chanting, Goku started to get nervous at the predicament he was now placed in. Having no choice, he did the same as the strange aged man. Kamehameha. They both yelled in unison. Two bright blue beams connected and made an explosion, knocking the plates off the ground, awing the audience. Cheers can be heard over the pulsing sound of energy colliding. Yamcha was in amazement on how much Goku had improved. Wow, what power! I didn't know Goku had this much energy in him. Krillin said as Bulma held onto Yamcha's arm for support because of the earthquake-like experience they were having. After a few more seconds, boom! The crowd gasped at what they were witnessing, a little kid surviving one of the world's most deadliest techniques. To say that everyone was impressed was an understatement. They were in complete hypnosis. Interesting. Goku diverted my blast to receive minimal damage, very smart, but in the end you given up the use of your right leg, leaving you unable to walk, Jackie thought and evaluated his pupil's leg. But to his surprise, Goku was beginning to rise from the ground with high difficulty. I can't lose now, hey. I have to make my master proud of me and win this tournament. Goku said with a grin, earning an applause from the crowd, including his friends. While you do have fighting spirit, you can't continue with only a broken leg and arm. If I were you, I give up now, and try to improve myself to be an even better fighter. Jackie said as looked at him more closely. Hey. True, I might not be able to continue fighting, but how about one more attack? Goku said as he lifted his damaged right leg, smiling. Shaking his head in a, no matter, he obliged. They both pounced towards one another and delivered their attacks. Goku with a flying dragon kick and Jackie with a roundhouse kick. Wham! After it was decided, they both kicked each other and flew out of the ring, crashing hard to the ground. The winner was decided, although disappointed. Jackie told Goku if he mastered his ki to a significant level he might have won. Coming as a runner-up, Goku was offered $500,000, but he declined and gave it to his friends, who gladly accepted. After he left the hospital, Bulma treated Goku and company to a big dinner before Goku left to go back to Konoha. Saying goodbye to his friends, he promises to come back in a while so that he can come and see his other friends. Goku asked if they wanted to come, but they declined, saying they couldn't get on the Nimbus with him, saying they will come next time. Soaring through the clouds above, Goku awaited his journey. As Sakura was about to be hit, Sasuke budges her out of the way and dodges the sand, whereas Naruto stopped his motion and gazed at the redhead. So, you're gonna be the one I get to take down first? Okay, then I need to my anger out on someone anyway. Naruto said as he cracked his knuckles. Sasuke activating his Sharingan, he got in his stance and waited for a signal to start. As Naruto back-flipped onto a tree, he pushed himself off and yelled, Shadow Clone Jutsu. At that moment 5 Narutos poof into existence and charged the boy they recognized as Gaara. Nearing him, some sand came up and knocked all of the clones down along with the real Naruto into 2 trees, getting stuck in the second. Sasuke ran through some hand signs and yelled, Fire Style. Grand Fireball Jutsu, which was unsuccessful, socking Sasuke. Is this the best you guys can do? You two are pathetic, ha 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 ha. Gaara laughed crazily, scaring Sakura, who was just observing. Sasuke ran and tried to engage in taijutsu, which was tedious due to Gaara's sand protecting him from every single blow. Damn, how can someone be this damn strong? Sasuke said as he regrouped on a branch. Long-distance attacks don't seem to work and neither does close range. Tisk. At this point I can't do anything but slow him down. He gazed at the forestry that Naruto was knocked into and was beginning to doubt whether he was alive or what. Where's that Dobi when you need him? He thought to himself. I'm not done, Uchiha. Gaara yelled as sand began to form and a shape of a ball about the radius of the area they're in. This is not good. Sasuke can't get close and Naruto is nowhere to be seen, Sakura thought in a panic. As soon as the sand came fleeing to Sasuke, he braced himself from the inevitable. But at that moment Naruto, with a red cloak of chakra, generate off his body like fire, negated Gaara attack. Red eyes with a slit, nails tuned into claws, and whiskers more feral in appearance, Naruto looked like a demonic creature. Sasuke and Sakura looked on in a frightened state at the mere presence of his being. However, Gaara had that crazed smile on his face as his body was wrapped in his sand, forming a sphere, blocking him from the outside. Naruto, growling like a bloodthirsty beast, vanished. The next thing Sasuke and Sakura seen was Naruto holding Gaara to the ground, which from their view, looked as Naruto was about to pound him into oblivion, but was stopped by Sakura. Naruto roared at Sakura, who was terrified, making her stumble to the ground as proceeded to punch in his face with tremendous force. Shaking the forest about 20 times, Naruto finally calmed down once he noticed that Gaara had turned into sand, making Naruto frustrated and losing conscious and falling into Sakura's lap. Naruto. What's half Sakura as she caressed his face with tears in her eyes. So that Gaara guy sent a sand clone. But why did he leave this earth scroll? He must have had a reason for doing this. ARRG, and how in the hell am I going to avenge my clan if I can't even beat him, let alone that retardo Lee? He kept arguing within himself. Deciding that they should wait till Naruto woke up, they decided to rest till Naruto was up and ready to go, concluding their night with Sasuke taking first watch. As Goku arrived in Konoha, he noticed that the ninja populace was shorter than usual. Descending from Nimbus, he walked into the main entrance, only to see the regular guards sleeping on the job. Smiling, he proceeded to speak with the Hokage. As he was walking, he pumped into the snake mistress, Anko. Hey bub, watch where you going, you little boy. She jumped on his case, earning a bewildered look from Goku. Huh, what are you talking about? I'm a martial artist and ninja, Goku said cheerily as he pumped each fist in the sky. Anko, blinking a few times, looked at the tail on his back. Hey kid, why the hell do you have a tail? She asked as she knelt down to his level, inspecting it. Yeah, but do. UGGHHH, Goku said, but soon felt all his energy leave his body as he fell to the ground panting. Anko grabbed his tail and started to rub it up and down like it was a male stick, licking her lips. Hey brat, what do you use this tail for anyway? From what I can tell it seems to make you weak, she asked after she released Goku, who seemed fine now. I'm not sure, but my grandpa said to not let anyone touch it. I'll forgive you this time since you didn't know. And to answer your question, I use it for balancing me and to take a bath with, but I didn't know it grew back so fast, laughs, he said as his stomach growled. Well, see you old lady, he said as he began to run to the ramen shop Naruto took him to before he goes to the Hokage. Hey, who are you calling old, you monkey humanoid freak? Get back here, screamed running after the boy, saying she's going to castrate him and shove his testicle to her snakes. All the while Goku laughed. Little did she know was that because of her running wildly, her trench coat was flopping everywhere, thus giving some lucky citizens a nice view of her wonderful round cleavage, having nosebleed also. In the Forest of Death, dawn. After the event last night, Sakura couldn't help herself as she fell asleep watching Naruto while Sasuke sought up traps around the perimeter they were within. Sasuke also had something else on his mind as well, of the boy named Gaara, and that person was none other than Naruto. Where did that power come from Naruto displayed last night? Sasuke thought as he had a flashback of that night. The feeling of that power was completely evil, whatever it was. That was also proven true after Naruto, the boy who had a crush on Sakura since the academy days, literally roared at her enough to make her fall, and afterwards destroyed Gaara, or who they was Gaara, completely. Pushing those thoughts aside, he came back from his thought as Naruto awoken from his slumber. Naruto stretched as he realized that Sakura was resting close by. He took a few moments to admire her beauty as she slept peacefully. Smiling, he got up to see how Sasuke was doing from last night, since everything he remembered last night was getting thrown into trees. Walking out of tree that was concealing Sakura and him, he spotted Sasuke sitting on a nearby branch. Gathering courage, he approached Sasuke, and after his second step, Sasuke called out to him. "Naruto, do you feel strong enough to make it to the tower right now?" He spoke to Naruto, interrupting the bird singing otherwise quiet forest. "Why, yeah. But that aside, how were you able to drive away Gaara?" Naruto asked curiously, knowing to his knowledge that both of them were outclassed, so it was strange that he alone was able to accomplish such a feat by himself. "We had a little help dealing with Gaara. Come and get Sakura. We're going to try and get to the tower before noon at best. According to my knowledge, if we go around towards the side of the infrastructure of the tower, we could avoid going against any strong opposition, or at least run into weak ninja," Sasuke said as he handed the earth scroll to Naruto, who caught it. "Right, I'll go and get Sakura," Naruto said as he ran towards the area he previously was within. After a few moments, Team 7 had moved out, going at about half their speed to save strength just in case they did run into trouble, and how right they were. Standing in their way was a grass ninja who had the freakishly long tongue, with an abnormal amount of chakra. "Kukuku, why in such a rush?" "Sasuke Uchiha," the nin stated, almost like a snake. Instantly grabbing their kunai knives in a defensive position, Naruto spoke first. "Who are you?" Naruto asked, a bit nervous, but he could nevertheless feel the killer intent from this person radiating, almost as vigorous as Zabuza's own. "My name is none of importance at this time, however I'm curious. How did a brat like you were able to become so strong after a short amount of time?" the feminine-sounding ninja said as said person appeared behind of Sakura and instantly had her hostage. "Ah, Sasuke-kun. Naruto-kun, help me," she screamed. At that moment, Naruto and Sasuke both nodded and ran full speed at the grass ninja, who smirked and threw Sakura into Sasuke, who caught her with an expertise roll, and before he knew it, Naruto was punched in the stomach and was intended to be uppercupped, but Naruto deflected and attempted a somersault, but the evil ninja easily dodged it and rushed towards Naruto, who was still in mid-air. "Since you won't share your secrets, I'll just kill you here and stop this progress you made," the now male voice said as he drew his sword, Kusanagi, and thrust forward to the genin's chest. Just as it was about to make contact, "Power pole extend," a familiar voice shouted, and a red pole came through and knocked down the now snake-looking man down. Sasuke, protecting Sakura, looked in awe at the person who just saved Naruto and eventually himself. That person was none other than Son Goku. "Hey guys. It seemed Anko was right, huh? Orochimaru?" Goku said as Anko appeared behind him. "Hey, you're reckless kid, ya know that?" Anko said to Goku before setting her sights on the snake demon. Gritting his teeth, he soon calmed himself at this problematic situation, smiling as he did so. "You bastard, what makes you think you can come back after all the shit you've done to this village, Orochimaru?" Anko yelled at her formal sensei, who simply smirked. "What's so funny?" Sasuke asked, oblivious to Kusanagi sneaking up behind Naruto. "Nothing really, but," Orochimaru said before his neck expanded from his head, and with no time to act bit Sasuke on the neck. After everyone gasped, Naruto was struck by his heart area and coughed a lot of blood. "Naruto!" Goku screamed out for his friend and rushed towards his location. By the time he made it towards him, Naruto was down for the count. Goku in anger glances towards Orochimaru, who was laughing like a madman. My. I never expected to see a boy care for this miserable demon child. He can't be saved no matter what happens, Kukuku." Orochi belittled Goku, but glare was just as strong as his and was unfazed by the snake's words. "You know, I was always scared of losing someone close to me. Bulma, Oolong, Yamcha, Krillin, Roshi, Sarutobi, Team 7, and Naruto. You hurt him and I won't forgive you for this," Goku declared and rushed towards him at speeds that shocked Anko and even Orochimaru. Jumping back to gain some distance from Goku, Orochimaru formed hand signs. "Wind style. Great breakthrough," Orochimaru yelled as a powerful gust of wind was heading towards Goku. Goku easily saw through this move and used an afterimage and was instantly behind Orochimaru.
Goku the snake demon's back, but Orochimaru turned around just in time to block. However, Goku was still able to knock him off the branch he retreated on earlier. Form a small crater. Orochi smiled at the boy's physical strength and noted that he was far more power than a normal genin, that was for sure.
Unable to keep examining Goku, he was forced to block yet again form one of Goku barrages of punches, but the last two connected, stunning Orochimaru. Goku took advantage and butterfly kicked him in the chest with his right foot and kicked him into the face with his left foot, knocking him into a tree, destroying it. Anko was speechless at the display. Not only was Goku able to fight at a level around her former sensei, but was able to have him on the defensive bar. However, Anko knew this was not over and had a feeling that Goku will not be able to keep fighting at this pace. After Goku stopped for a minute, he noticed that mud was coming from the ruble from the tree. Anko knew that this was the mud clone jutsu and warned Goku to get away. He obliged and soon found himself unable to move, Anko included. "What is this? I can't move," Goku said as he and Anko were caught in Orochimaru's binding genjutsu trying to get free. Interesting, you seem to also have a lot of potential, it seems. I should probably give you the curse seal as well. You could be a powerful host once I'm done with Sasuke's body," the snake Sannin said as he expanded his head, and with mere seconds away, a rejuvenated Naruto catches Orochimaru's head with his bare hand with great force, only slightly moving Naruto. "So using the Nine Tails power grants you unusual amounts of chakra and strength, it seems," Orochimaru said as he struggled to get free. But when Naruto looked him in the eye, he hasn't used a single amount of the fox's chakra at all, stunning all except Goku, who was happy that Naruto was alright. "Loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted is the most terrible poverty. The most I can do for my friend is simply be his friend, because he along with Team 7 saved from that fate, and I will not let you hurt them," Naruto said as he punched Orochi in the face so hard it rocked the area they were in. Anko and Goku were later freed and saved thanks to Naruto's arrival, but the blonde was spent unknowingly to Goku. Naruto was crying prior his awakening and heard every word Goku said, which gave him the courage to fight once more, and in his mind Naruto silently thanked Goku for also being one of his friend. Later everyone awoke and was greeted by a message from Anka saying she will have to notify the Hokage of the situation and wish them luck. Team 7, along with Goku, made their way to the tower to finish this nightmare up. "Back so soon, Lord Orochimaru? I thought you would toy with Sasuke a bit longer," Kabuto said as he adjusted his specs, the reflection evident in a dark cave. "No, not at all, it's just that I found out another boy who possesses power similar to the Senju clan is within Sasuke's team. If I could get his body and Sasuke's, I believe the mutation will give me a dojutsu of which the Sage of Six Path also possessed, the Rinnegan," Orochimaru said, followed by a wicked laugh scaring the birds in the area. As the group entered the tower, Sasuke began to fill with great misery on the left of his neck and fell to his knees, grasping for much needed air as Naruto and Goku helps him on his feet. Shortly though, the pain subsided and they continued to open their scroll as they read the kanji that was obviously missing pieces of info. Iruka appeared through the scroll and explained why he was chosen to be their summoning and wished them luck later down the road. In the Hokage mansion, Anko was feeling pain as well when Sarutobi entered the building with the two Chunin, Katetsu and Izumo. "Anko dear, how are you feeling at the moment?" "Not too bad, I hope," Sarutobi said as he took a seat next to the snake beauty, who was in pain but had better control of not to let it seem so. "Hey, Hokage-sama, you underestimate me. This is pain hurt as much as being bitten by a mosquito. I'll be fine, honest," Anko said with pride, but Sarutobi knew better. "By the way, isn't Orochimaru one of the 3 powerful Sannin?" Katetsu began. "Isn't he in the handbook 5 missing ninja that even Enbu can't get within his range? I had heard he was deceased, but as of the situation, I can see otherwise," he finished as he picked his nose, much to the disgust of Izumo. "Why would he even bother returning is the real money question," Izumo added his input. Sarutobi puffed from his pipe and looked at Anko. "Sasuke Uchiha is what Orochimaru is after, correct, Anko?" The Hokage asked to verify the answer, which she responded with a shake in the form of a yes. "But, Hokage-sama, I may not have told you this, but I believe he also after Son Goku. He even tried to brand him with that despicable curse seal." Sarutobi's eyes widened at this. According to Kakashi, Goku is the strongest link on the team, with Sasuke being second, able to move and fight with great amount of accuracy, And if he was to be branded with the curse seal, then even Goku would surpass himself if he fully uses the second stage of it. Also, I planted one of my tracker snakes on him and found out something puzzling. She paused to let the Hokage know that she was ready. He claimed that a member from Sasuke's team has Senju blood running through their veins. She said as she was afraid of what Sarutobi would do, but kept it bottled. Senju as in the first Hokage Hashirama Senju. He said aloud, but due to soundproof seals being on the walls, floor and ceiling no one heard. That's right, but I find it hard to believe because the group composes of the Uchiha, Haruno, Sun and Uzumaki. She added her assumption, but the Hokage was about explained who it could potentially be. Enko added final news. Please excuse my interruption Hokage-sama, but Orochimaru also said by combining both Sasuke's and this unknown Senju person's chakra together could give him the Sage of Six Paths Renegan Dojutsu. She finished as she closed her eyes as everyone gasped at this unnerving news. After a moment of silence, the Hokage began to explain who this Senju person could potentially be. In the preliminary stadium, as the team continued to listen intently to the sick proctor's instructions, Sasuke began to wimp in a pain once more. Goku noticed this but was at a loss of what to do. Naruto watched as intently as Goku, while Sakura pleaded towards Sasuke. Sasuke-kun, I think you should quit as well, you're no longer at 100% in your neck, she said as Sasuke turned around towards her with distaste in his face. No, Sakura, I came here to test my skills to the best that are all here. And I won't let some neck pain stop me from this, so if you really care about me Sakura then leave me be, however if I know I can't tolerate any more pain, I'll signal you. Deal? Sasuke argued for his stay as he awaited her answer, glancing at Naruto and Goku, the latter who seemed to be distracted. Naruto shrugged his shoulders and Sakura let out a deep breath and agreed. Let's begin the matches. Since there are 20 contestants here, we will conduct 10 fights so. The proctor said before being interrupted. Hey, you mean 21 contestants? Naruto said as he raised Goku's hand to let him know who he was referring to. The proctor looked up at the Hokage to get confirmation, which was given, and the proctor nodded and rearranged most of what he said. Everyone in the room were staring at the boy who just announced to be fighting. Most were scared, indifferent, drooling and happy that this boy appeared. A relief to Sasuke. Some time passed before the matches began. And 15 minutes later the first match was underway. As names flashed on the board, Naruto Uzumaki vs Shino Aburame were the chosen. Naruto smirked as he flipped over the railing and landed beautifully on the ground, stunning a few chicks as Wano dispersed in bugs to the arena floor. As both were glaring each other down, a few comments were made by Kurenai. It seems that Naruto will have a lot of trouble, it's too bad he has to fight my Shino, she said confidently, but Kakashi appeared behind them and took note of what she said. I wouldn't count Naruto out yet, he's changed considerably since the academy days. If I were to gauge him on pure combat ability he would a little below Sasuke of the Uchiha clan. He blandly as he read his pervy book, but stunned most of the other joinin. First match is Naruto Uzumaki and Shino Aburame, are you two ready? The proctor said as he awaited their answers. Both nodding, he slashed his hands down and removed himself to a safe distance. With no restrictions holding them back, Naruto made a 2 shadow clones and the 2 charged Shino, who stayed calm. He made a hand sign and just as soft spoke. Wall of insect jutsu. He said, then Kakaichu bugs started to spend at an incredible rate that once both clones made contact they instantly dispersed. But at the same time Naruto had a flash, sort of like a lost memory was entered into his mind. What in the? He thought, but was brought back in the world when more of the insects came charging after him. He flipped backward 3 times as each school of bugs crashed to the ground again and again. Are you going to fight Naruto, or run all day? Regardless, my Kakaichu will have you at their mercy. Shino said as he raised his hands as more bugs came from above Naruto, who was nearly ensnared by the large crowd of insects. Not gonna happen. I can't lose here, Shino, no matter what, Naruto declared. Having rolled out of the way, Naruto threw 4 kunai at Shino, which all was deflected by Shino's own. However, Naruto smirked and vanished in a puff of smoke, and above the Shino one of the kunai puffed into Naruto, who axe kicked Shino in the top of his head, knocking him down face first. After a few seconds Shino wasn't moving and the proctor began to announce that Naruto won, but then as Naruto guard was dropped, Naruto was gobbled up by an extreme amount of bugs. Shino made his presence known when the crowd was amazed that Shino was never fighting but a clone. It's over, Naruto, you are now captured by my insect spear. There is no escape and they will continue to drain you of your chakra if you don't admit defeat. He said, confident his victory was at hand, but he heard nothing. Shino held up 5 of his fingers and the insect's noise increased, letting the spectators know that he's sucking out more chakra than before. After about 5 more minutes more, the Kikaichu bugs were starting to fall to the ground, dying. Damn, how come he still have so much chakra? It's like all I taken and he still has about 100% left. That's impossible, Shino thought, but then as all the bugs fell from Naruto's body, he fell to the floor and puffed away, stunning everyone, since no one, not even the Hokage, Byakugan, and Sharingan users were able to see Naruto preformed the clone. Shino, just about out of chakra, felt a cold steel to his neck and without a second thought he conceded. The crowd were shocked beyond belief. Naruto, the class idiot and dead last, outsmart and outmaneuvered one of the smartest people in the academy days. The proctor announced Naruto wins and Naruto made his way to his team. When he arrived, Sakura gave him a thumbs up and Sasuke smirked in a happy-like way. Goku, however, was far more impressed that Naruto is getting stronger. Kakashi then went to Naruto and began.
Naruto, how were you able to make a shadow clone without even the Hokage knowing? He asked his student, who grinned like a certain past Hokage.
Well, it was simple really. Once Goku helped me with my chakra control using his key tips, I kinda, along Goku's help, utilized them for my control so that I wouldn't have to use signs all the time. So when I launched the kunais at Shino, I channeled my chakra and sent myself to one of them and a clone in the other, he said happily. So let me guess, the one that kicked Shino's insect clone was your shadow clone and you waited till Shino wasted most of his chakra to strike yourself. Amazingly, so that you didn't leave a trace to let people know you came back. Kakashi said as he was impressed almost more than Goku. Yeah, that's pretty much it, he said. He rested his arms behind his head. Well, Naruto, do you think you're ready to have that rematch once we finish the fights up? Goku said he did practice punches. You better believe it, Naruto cheered happily. That brat was able to make a shadow clone with Orochimaru of the Sannin, knowing? Naruto-kun, you may be of some use after all beside your unique Senju gift, Orochi thought in disguise as of the sound Jonin.
After the match with Shino, Naruto was beginning to get a lot more respect compared to his early childhood. Needless to say, he was not at all cocky in his victory to let himself get distracted by attention. As names begin to flash again, everyone in the room hearts felt as if they stopped pounding in fear they will have a strong opponent.
Goku, who had a confident smirk, was extremely excited that he literally bent the railing he was gripping by accident. As the names began to slow, the chosen were Sasuke Uchiha versus Yoroi Akado. Sasuke smirked as his name was shown and hopped over the railing he was standing on with his team and landed on the floor, with Yoroi following. As the proctor began to let the fighters know, Sasuke looked to his team, specifically Goku, and saw a smile on his face, which in turn made Sasuke smile, a real smile. Are both contestants ready? The proctor said. Sasuke-kun, let's see if you live up to your reputation in the leaf, thought Orochimaru, who glanced toward Naruto and Goku. Begin, the proctor said as he got some distance. Now it begins, thought a certain Hyuga, and thus the battle commenced. Both the fighters reached for their pouch and launched kunai at each other's, but Yoroi's hand seemed different. As Sasuke ran towards his enemy, he reflected on his conversation with Kakashi. Sasuke, don't use any chakra-based attacks. That includes the Sharingan, Kakashi said as he appeared beside him. Disapproving with what his sensei told him, he agreed. Fine, I won't use any ninjutsu, he said, annoyed. Preparing for his fight, he was about to hop over, but Kakashi got the last word. That also includes the curse seal. If it comes to that, I'll stop your match, so use extreme caution, Kakashi said as backed away from within earshot of Sasuke. Recollecting himself, Sasuke flipped on his feet and dashed once more to Yoroi, who had a smirk behind the cloth that covered his lower face. Sasuke drew 2 shurikens and threw them in a 90-degree angle towards the ground, confusing Yoroi. Sasuke smirked as he poofed a giant shuriken and threw it directly at him, who prepared to dodge, but once he ducked underneath the giant shuriken, he asked cockily. Huh? Who you're aiming at, wimp? Yoroi screamed out, overconfident. Nah, I wasn't aiming at you, idiot. Sasuke said with a smirk and on both hands, flicked his pinky fingers at the same time and the shurikens that were impaled in the ground fling towards Yoroi, who was wide-eyed. His footing lost because of him crouching, he had no choice but to brace himself but found himself wrapped in ninja wire. "You brat!" Yoroi yelled for being caught in this pathetic bait the Uchiha set up for him. Sasuke deceived the sound nin into expecting a good fight because he was an Uchiha, and used an academy-level tactic, Kakashi thought as he examined the fight so far. Everyone in the room was impressed that the last Uchiha used a shitty maneuver to trick the sound nin. The most surprised was Orochimaru. He expected Sasuke to use some sort of jutsu to win the fight, but he hadn't used anything but skills and cunning. "Amazing, Sasuke's a better fighter than what I gave him credit for. I really want to fight HGHT," as his tail began to twirl around in excitement, but it didn't go unnoticed. Goku, well, why do you have a tail?" Sakura asked nervously, but Goku turned around and answered. "I really don't, Sakura, heh. But, with it I feel stronger, and my grandpa said I always had it since I was born, not counting the time I lost it at Pilaf's castle." Goku explained as he turned back to watch the fight with Sasuke and Yoroi. On the field, Yoroi refused to give up, so Sasuke was forced to knock out Yoroi to advance the rest of the matches. However, Yoroi was able to substitute himself from this primitive trap. Sasuke had no time to act before he was grabbed by the chakra-absorbing man and leaving him to struggle from the man's surprisingly strong grip. "Ha ha ha. What are you gonna do now, Uchiha?" Yoroi asked as he tightened his grasp on Sasuke's forehead. Getting dizzy, Sasuke had to act fast before he lose this match. Memories of the strongest he know have flashed through his mind. Rock Lee, Neji, Kankuro, Gaara, Goku, and last but not least Naruto. Opening his eyes, Sasuke miraculously found his inner resolve and threw Yoroi off of him with tremendous force. Opening his Sharingan revealed 3 tomos in left eye, but the weird part was that the marks around his neck were beginning to spread around his body, generating lots of wild and ominous chakra, with purple being the color, and the fact that his right eye had a different blue Sharingan in the eyes shook even the Hokage and Orochimaru because neither of them saw this form of it. Grinning softly, he spoke. "Now, to get rid of my curse." He spoke darkly and his 8 blue star pupils spinned around so fast that there was a vortex that absorbed a portion of everyone's chakra to form a seal no one saw. Tenku Sakuho Shiru. This seal gathered all of the said chakra in a condensed space around his curse mark, and once it was planted, the curse seal was gone from his neck, stunning Orochimaru greatly at this development. "What in the hell is this? I've never seen anything like this in my entire life," thought Hiruzen as his pipe fell from his mouth at this discovery. The man backing away could feel Sasuke's chakra was literally pushing him back against a nearby wall, like he couldn't control his own movements, till he was pressed up against it. "What's wrong? I thought you were going to take my chakra." "Hey, from the looks of things it seemed that I absorb but a portion of everyone's chakra to make my own for whatever I please," Sasuke said as he was about 3 feet close to the now scared Yoroi, who was sweating like bullets. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't kill me. This is just an exam." He spoke scared for his life being taken. "I wouldn't?" Sasuke asked as he tilted his head back a bit, smirking at his opposition. Casually he made him look into his eyes and literally sealed him into his very being, thus winning. Before he knew it, Sasuke fell out from chakra fatigue and was taken to the relief center. With Sasuke's victory, Naruto was grateful he made it, but was also uneasy of what happened. Nevertheless, all he worried about not getting through was Sakura. Sure, he loves her, but he can't lie, she far beneath any of them in the physical department, but she improved to about the same amount of skills Sasuke had during the wave mission. Goku shouldn't have any problems considering that he's the strongest on their team, aside from Kakashi. Naruto left the thoughts in the back of his mind as the next Chunin battle was between Neji Hyuga versus Son Goku. Smiling Goku screamed in delight and hopped onto the railing and front flipped down to the ground arena with Neji following suite. "All right, time to see his skills for myself," said Neji, who was anxious to see how Naruto could catch up to him due to Sasuke training him. Numerous people were talking as Goku and Neji stared at each other with intensity, Goku the look of desire and Neji the look of hatred. "So my beloved rival, how do you think your boy gonna hold up to one my own?" Guy said as he and his team approached Kakashi's. Looking up from his make-out book apathetically, he simply shrugged. "To be honest, I have no idea because he just returned after a day ago from a martial arts tournament. he said as he glanced down to Sasuke, who was looking at them out of the corner of his eyes. But I will say this, as it's not relevant, Goku is the best fighter of all Konoha genin. Kakashi said it in a whisper to Guy before going to his original spot. Well, at least he was before he left. He added in a comedian fashion, making Guy stumble over, feet in the air. On the field, Neji had something he wanted to ask. I don't remember seeing you with Kakashi's team at the first beginning. How are you here? Neji said with authority, but Goku simply pointed to Naruto without looking and said, Naruto made me enter after I saved them from Ur. Goku stopped after remembering it's an S-rank secret. Saved them? From a roach, a giant roach. Goku lied, laughing as he did. Shaking his head, Neji got into his Hyuga stance. Pitiful Naruto gets an Aburame. Sasuke gets that chakra-absorbing nin, and I get stuttering idiot. No matter, I will defeat you because even with that get-up, you're no match for Hyuga. He said with an attitude similar to that of Sasuke's. Deciding to defend his master, Goku began. I'll have you know that I got this get-up from the strongest man in the world before Mutaito and Sage of Six Paths, Master Roshi of Turtle Hermit, who was trained by Mutaito, who was friends with the Sage of Six Paths. So if you think this symbolizes weakness, then I'll show you. Goku said with fury burning through the genin's souls at tone of his voice alone. Everyone was shocked that Goku knew so much about the past that most were false calling Goku. But the Hokage knew it was true. If the Master Roshi is Kame Sennin, then Goku knows a lot more than he lets off. But the most shocking was the fact that Mutaito and the Sage were best friends prior his death. I'll show you the terror, Son Goku, of the Hyuga style and prove it's the best clan in existence by destroying your will. Neji said with anger. Well then, you had your turn for words, are you two ready? The proctor said, both nodding. He slashed his arm down and shout begin. A millisecond after they prepared to duel, Turtle School versus Hyuga style. 20,000 years ago. On another planet, within the cavern of an underground mountain, there was a man who was very elderly giving orders to what appears to be low-level vampires in the area. The equipment they had were very high-tech but not overly alien to say the least. The said gear was stated by an guru 20,000 years ago that the blue planet of life will be consumed by the evil within the planet's very people, and the guru predicted that the saviors of the planet will not succeed in their mission. So the guru decided to send his guardian of the scared saviors down to Earth in order to diminish the planet if the saviors fail in progress of securing the future of the planet. The guard, known as Psycho, was not sure who exactly to look for, but the guru of their planet, named Jan, said, My son, one of the two, the messiahs you must seek, will bring many threats to his home world from deep within space, but will rise to change the darkness into nothing but a blissful of light and give off energy that makes the galaxy shine its brightest. The second one will have shouldered dislike from many for ungodly reasons, but this being will leave his mark in the world to change the way people are treated to this world, and his love will be more than enough to obliterate even that of hatred. The very old guru said as he began to fade. Don't be hasty, my son, and remember to observe before acting, he finally said before he finally passed away into the other world, his words making Psycho shed a single tear of sorrow but also conviction. Getting his resolve, he left to embark on his journey. The present at the Chunin exam preliminaries. Neji and Goku dashed to each other, clashed in an amazing taijutsu battle with neither side giving in their relentless attacks. Goku aimed a cross punch to Neji's left jaw, but Neji ducked under the punch and aimed his palm towards Goku's stomach, but he caught his hand effortlessly and tossed him away from him about 5 yards easily. Neji, as soon as he landed, aimed a high two-finger strike towards Goku's left arm as it was unguarded and was struck, and Goku felt his arm go numb from the feeling. Neji smirked at this and allowed his defense to soften. Goku took the opportunity to quickly move in his range and aimed uppercut to Neji's chin, sending him hovering into the sky. Goku jumped in great speeds and was close enough to Neji to aim a flying kick to his back, but Neji dispersed in a puff and was replaced with a log and appeared with another sinister smirk on his face. Goku, getting his footing returned, landed gracefully on the ground and stared Neji off, as well as fighting the throbbing pain in his left arm, and Neji was less than 5 feet from each other, said, You know you can win, son Goku. I knew after my diagnosis, you have a different anatomy than the rest of us. It's slightly different, but I was able to pinpoint where exactly your nerve was in your arm and shut it down. You should have never let your guard down against me. It's a shame, really. You're the first one to ever even land a hit on me in the first few minutes, he said as he returned in his Hyuga style. Goku's blank face turned into a smile as he was starting to get excited. "Well, don't you think that's enough of a warm-up then? I'm ready to start fighting for real now," he said as his left arm began to move again, surprising Neji tremendously. "How's da you?" Neji began before his face met Goku's shoes. Goku flipped off of Neji's face and pulled his power pole and swung down on it with precision, and whacked Neji in his jaw, making him twirl towards a wall. He regained his composure and made himself stick towards the wall and jumped off it with impressive speeds that cracked the wall as he left. Goku retracted his power pole back and did the same as both hit each other again, angering Neji because of the amount of time he was hit by him. Neji's fist buried through Goku's stomach and Goku's vice versa, and both gripped each other and headbutted each other to get free from the grasp of their respective opponents. A little of blood began to come from the temple of Neji's head while Goku's was not damaged in the least, making Neji growl under his breath as he attempted his ultimate technique. 8 trigrams 64 palms. Each of the blows hit Goku and they hurt like hell. After the final blow, Goku was hit so hard he was knocked down through wall opposite to where Neji was knocked towards prior. The spectators were intrigued in this fight because of the great show of skills and the fact that Neji is becoming sloppy in his moves a bit, noted by the Chunin and the Hokage. Naruto was clenching his fist as the fight was becoming extremely close between the two fighters on the floor. Sakura was cheering for Goku to win along with a few others like Choji, praying that he won't have to fight someone of Neji's caliber.
Interesting. Son Goku-kun is quite the fighter, overlooking his naivety. He's good at learning the weaknesses of his foes after a prolonged battle, Orochimaru thought to himself before he licked his lips and grinned deviously. On the battlefield, Neji told the proctor to call the match, and which he was about to, when there was a shake in the building as Goku came out of debris cleaning his clothes off a little. "Aw man, this is my last outfit too," Goku said, depressed, but the crowd sweat dropped at the realization his complaining. "Well, you ready to finish this, Neji? I'm beginning to think you're running out of ideas judging from the amount of power you used in that last attack of yours," Goku said and pointed at Neji accusingly. "Shut up," Neji roared. "I don't know how, but I will crush you, Son Goku," he screamed as he rushed at Goku once again and had his palm glowing with visible chakra, aimed a deadly strike to Goku's face, but was stopped when he stopped. He saw a brown furry tail gripping him from the wrist, shocking and disgusting a few.
"Not gonna happen, I can tell now. You're desperate," Goku said with a smile as he began to swirl him with his tail. Many of the people couldn't believe what they were seeing. Neji, the genius, as being someone's plaything. Goku stopped and let him go. Neji had lost himself to the strain to his head and the dizziness and fell out during the twirling on Goku's tail. With Goku being the winner, almost all of Team 7 are making it through this with ease. Many of the people, most certainly the Hokage, was taken aback on how Neji, one of their best genin, was made a fool of by Goku's tail. Some of the girls, namely Ino, tried to hit on Goku but told her he had a girlfriend, which got Ino crying anime tears on why she can't get a date. After that skirmish, Kakashi left the arena to check up on Sasuke's condition, wishing Sakura luck on her opponent. Sakura began to get nervous at the fact that she was the only one left who hasn't fought anyone yet. She began to get discomfort when the Hokage told everyone to get a break in the lobby until they fixed the deep hole in the wall. Team 7 went to their room to wait for an update, except Goku, who was starving during his match with Neji. Naruto opened the door and allowed Sakura to enter first, as he soon followed. Closing the door, locking it, Naruto looked over to Sakura to ask if she's hungry but finds her surprisingly asleep already on the bed. He smiled as he approached her and grabbed the sheet and placed it over her for warmth, blushing as she did so. Deciding to take a shower because of his stench, he went into the bathroom and got in the shower and let the warm water relax his strained muscles. After he was finished 30 minutes later, he remembered he left his shirt and jacket on the bed. Left of Sakura's gulping, he tried to be as quiet as possible. He heard an alarm clock go off, his eyes bulging out of his eye sockets. Sakura got up, looking around, and saw Naruto there shirtless, seemingly approaching her. "Sakura-chan, I promise." Gulp. "This isn't what it looks like, honest," Naruto said calmly as her eyes began to twitch from Naruto's pervertedness and ran to him to bang him on the head, but tripped over Naruto ninja sandals and knocked Naruto down on his back, making him bump his head into the hard floor, with Sakura on top of his chest looking at him shocked as hell with a deep blush on her face as she stared at his face. "Man, Sakura-chan, you made me hit my head," he said, his eyes still close as he was still in great agonizing pain, rubbing the back of his head. Sakura, getting her focus back, got up and helped him to the bed. She laid him down and left, saying she's gonna join Goku to eat fast at that, and left, leaving Naruto confused because he couldn't make out with what she said clearly. But outside of the border of the Land of Fire, a vampire was nearing his objective. After the matches were finished, the Hokage gave the finalists their final lecture leading up to the final exams. Naruto looked to his left, which composed of Gaara, Sakura, and Lee, and on his right was Kakashi, who was subbing for Sasuke, Hinata, Shikamaru, and Goku. Although he was glad he made it, he was depressed he'd to fight Sasuke in the first round. Don't get him wrong, he desired to best Sasuke one day, but so early. He widened his when he felt Kakashi's hand on his shoulder with his eye smile, making Naruto slightly smile back. Matchups: Hinata vs Sakura, Naruto vs Sasuke, Lee vs Goku. Gaara vs Shikamaru. Taking their leave, Naruto decided to rest the rest of this uneventful day, and planned on training for the finals in a month's time. A week and 24 hours later. In the background you can make out Aining, well, most of the time. At this moment Naruto was training with Goku, his de facto mentor, who were both fighting evenly at the start, but Naruto, wanting a real challenge, asked for Goku to fight serious, which resulted in Naruto getting beaten consecutively. Naruto grabbed a kunai and launched at Goku with precision almost to the skill level of 10-10. But Goku simply flipped above it and lashed out to Naruto and punched him in the stomach, knocking him back a few feet. Naruto, doing a backward roll to readjust, jumped into the while performing the multi-shadow clone jutsu. 100 plus Naruto began to swarm Goku, but Goku either dodged, parried, or outright destroyed them all. Seeing the last Naruto down, Goku grinned and asked, "You did well, Naruto. I'm impressed that you lasted this long against me this time." Goku, before finishing, felt a sensation in his gut that something bad is going to happen, but ignores it. As he approached the silent Naruto, he felt his tail being grabbed and instantly fell to the ground, extremely drained of his power. Turning around, Goku saw Naruto holding his tail with a smirk. "Ah, that's a low blow." Goku whined as was released after Naruto released him. Naruto smiled at his first victory over months against Goku. Even though he knew he couldn't win in a fair fight, it was enough to know he was able to catch up on his losses. In the distance, two people could be made out: Sasuke and Kakashi. The two saw the damage in the area, and Kakashi had no doubt about the two ninja were training for the upcoming Chunin exams. Reaching them, he spoke to his students. "Yo," Kakashi said as he crossed his arms in surprise. "I see you two had been hard at work. No doubt you'll win if you take this seriously," he said as he looked towards Goku. "Kakashi, is it okay for me to bring a couple of my friends to see me in action on the day of the tournament?" Goku asked with a smile. "Of course. The exam will house very important parties as well as audience to showcase the strength of each village, as I'm sure you're aware of," he said as he looked at Naruto. "Now the reason I came to you today is to tell you guys that even though I understand you are my students, including Sakura, I will have to train Sasuke," the copy nin said, making Naruto felling left to rot. "Naruto, I also come to tell you that you will be training under the Toad Sage, Lord Jiraiya," he said in a way to get Naruto excited, which worked. "Well, it's settled. You all have your roles, so that's it, and good luck," he said before grabbing Naruto. In that brief moment, Naruto managed to steal a glance at Sasuke and noticed that his right eye seemed bandaged with a seal implanted on it. Naruto linked this to that Kami awful power Sasuke let loose during his fight with Yoroi. Sasuke also stared at Naruto with a bland expression as if he wasn't himself. Feeling the sensation of being touched, he closed his only visible eye and was gone in a poof of smoke. Naruto, roaming down the streets of Konoha looking for Jiraiya, had no luck, and stumbled upon Hinata father's compound. He decided to pay the timid girl a visit. After a little problem with the guards, he was allowed to enter among the order of Hiyashi Hyuga. "So what is it you wish to see my daughter about, young Naruto Uzumaki?" he asked curiously of the boy's intentions. "Well, I just wanted to see how she's feeling after she was matched up against Sakura is all, sir," Naruto said as he was continued led the way by Hiyashi. "HMPH. Why bother? She doesn't have the courage to fight, much less win, from the way I've seen her in the past during training," he said bitterly as he stopped in front of the room of his daughter. "5 Mintus," he said before he left to go about his business. Naruto didn't like what the Hiyashi said about Hinata, but he didn't say anything to stop it. He wanted to talk with someone about Sasuke, who wasn't a fangirl to discuss his predicaments. Opening the door, Naruto entered the room where Hinata was on the edge of her bed, seemingly holding something. Him. Hey Hinata-chan. Naruto said after knocking to get the girl's attention, but that seemed to make her nervous and dropped her pendant. Picking it up quickly, she got up and placed it in the chest before, after a long pause, turned around smiling at Naruto. Hi-en Naruto-kun. She said with the cliché attitude she has whenever she's around Naruto. Yay. I decided to check on you to see how you're feeling about your matchup against Sakura-chan, he said as he folded his arms behind his head.
Oh, I'm fine B, but you didn't have to do that, she said as she placed her chest box under her bed, queen-sized bed.
Giggling a bit, he walked to her and sat on her bed and said, "You know, you're kind of cute when you get sick," he said with his goofy smile, but his words, though they seemed kind of like a hit-on, was very witless and caused Hinata to fall out on her bed. At that time Hiashi came back and let Naruto know his time was up and must go. Bearing farewell, he left to go and get some sleep of his own and forcefully wait for this Jiraiya person. The next day in the morning, Goku made his departure to go and seek out more training through adventures of finding the 4-star ball within a month's time. Saying, "See you later," Goku took off until he was no longer visible through the horizon. Team 7 were there with the exception of Sasuke, who Kakashi was saying that Sasuke chose to train. This angers Naruto at the fact that Goku, Sasuke and even Sakura, who was getting help from Hayate, were getting stronger while his master is God knows where. After departing from Team 7, Naruto was trying to figure out what he should do to get his training started. He figured chakra control and taijutsu needs more work as well as his genjutsu resistance. He figured since he is skilled at all with gen, he should be able to disable it if the need arises. Deciding to get to library, he ran the fastest way but not without getting some glares, but paid them no mind. Arriving at the library, he saw that plenty of people were here, mostly people working on the Chunin exams final. "Hey miss. Where are your chakra control scrolls and an advanced level of taijutsu scroll and also including genjutsu scrolls?" he asked anxiously, wanting to train ASAP. Thanking her, he made his way there and quickly got some scrolls and left after he wrote his name on a sheet listing the return of the scrolls. Later that day, at a deserted part of Konoha, Naruto was currently training, well, if you count falling in water training, then why not, on his chakra control. To master or have some level of skill in gen, you must at least know how much chakra you use, otherwise you're practically throwing away chakra. For Naruto, though, this seemed challenging, though he managed to browse through it, but it was getting too complex the further he went through it. Sighing, he decided to stop because he started to get the chills from falling in the water. How am I going to beat Sasuke if I can't even use my own chakra correctly? And at that, me and him were more or less even, and now he's getting training from Kakashi-sensei and Goku's most likely going to go train as well. Naruto thought and internally sighed again. At that moment there, a person was shown walking to him in the distance. As the person got closer, it looked like Sasuke was coming from the way the hair was made, but as the person got closer, the person had white hair with a headband saying, "Oil." When he was upon Naruto, blocking the sunlight from Naruto's eyes, Naruto was able to make out that this was not Sasuke. "Hey. Sorry for keeping you waiting, but I had a little research to before I came back to Konoha. So you must Naruto Uzumaki, of Team 7. He said as he rubbed his chin and said more than ask. "Yea, I am. And who are you?" Naruto said a little loudly. The man smirked and Master Sennin, also known as the Toad Sennin, Lord Jiraiya. Jiraiya said in a dim-witted pose, making Naruto sweat drop. In a forest far from Konoha, Goku happened to stumbled upon a Dragon Ball. Sadly, it was the 7-star ball. So Goku decided to get a drink of water from a nearby pond and take a mini bath. After a few minutes, he got up and out of the surprisingly hot pond and got redress. As he was getting his shoes on, he noticed a seemingly tall man was on a branch with white hair and red pupil-less eyes. He wore a white robe underneath his black trench coat and black pants with some white combat boots. "Who are you?" Goku said, on guard, making sure this person doesn't get past his defense. The man was eating an apple from an apple tree nearby and stopped once he heard Goku ask him a question. Dropping the half-eaten apple, when Goku blinked for a split second, the man was in front of Goku, who was reaching out towards him. Goku, however surprised he was able to backflip a safe distance from the man. The man then said in a different tone, "Baraku Kotaku Sodo." he said, and a sword materialized in the man's hands and he swung and twirled dust around the tip of the sword and swung towards Goku, with no relentless in a blink of an eye.
There was a huge impact in the ground that managed to destroy several of the trees in the area. When the smoke cleared, the man saw Goku still breathing, much to his surprise. When he looked down to where his sword was, Goku had the power pole in his grasp and twisted the power pole and poked him in the stomach and shouted,
"Extend!" Goku yelled, and the power pole soared to great lengths and made the man on the receiving end crash into a small boulder near the pond, or what's left of it. Getting his footing, the man realized that how it was possible that he was wounded, but not from the boulder at all, it was from something else. Not letting up, Goku jumped towards the man and went for a hammer strike, but the man was not able to lift his arm in time, was forced to reveal one of his powers, and he assured it will be all that would be needed. Baraku Kotaku Sodo. Shainingu Shi Ama. The man said, and a mystical armor surrounded his body with the shape of a black circle-like shield. When the next impact from Goku's power pole stroke, it bounced off a bit before knocking Goku back a few yards, but not without shattering the man's shield, stupefying the strange man. "How were you able to crack my shield? It's born with hardest material known, the galaxy impenetrable Tetsu. Only another could possibly cancel it out," he continued to query. "I'm not. My grandpa said it has some type of power," Goku said, not trying to give too much information out. However, when he said that, the man seemed to withdrew his sword and walked away, but not before apologizing. That was weird, Goku thought as he called for the Nimbus and to continue his training while looking for the 4-star ball. Back in Konoha, Sasuke was training to master the Chidori, an original move from Kakashi. Although he was able to master the jutsu, he was still not able to utilize it for prolonged periods like Kakashi. Finally, of not making any real progress, he decided to ask Kakashi something. "Hey Kakashi-sensei, let me ask you something," Sasuke said as he depowered the jutsu. Nodding for Sasuke to continue, he continued to read his Icha book and awaited Sasuke's question on a nearby cottage they use for isolation for his training. "Why are you teaching me this jutsu for? I feel you think Naruto's gonna have an ace up his sleeve, and if so, do you intend for me to kill Naruto with this move? After all, this is an assassin technique," Sasuke asked, with some important points, making Kakashi sigh at Sasuke's questions. He knew these were gonna come, but it was far earlier than expected. "No, this technique isn't meant for the use against Naruto. He's part of your team and none of your teammates at that. You remember when I first told you guys that those who abandon their friends are worse than that? Well, the point behind that is for you to use this assassin jutsu for those who threatens your friends or comrades during battle, like war. For your first question, however, I intended for you to use this move against anyone who isn't a Konoha shinobi," he said as he continued to read his pervy book. "Well, and in any case, I can't use it correctly without my Sharingan, and I don't see why you don't want me to use it with it. I mean, you seem to use it every time with the Sharingan," Sasuke added his reasoning. Looking up, Kakashi understood where he was coming from, but he wanted Sasuke to find that out on his own for his own good. "Sorry, I'll tell you why if you manage to kill my clone with Chidori," he said as he put his book away to make a shadow clone, making Sasuke roll his eyes and prepared his Chidori. "Chidori," he said as he dashed for the clone. Month of the finals. Village of Konoha was extremely crowded today because today is the day to prove each shinobi's participating worth. Many people were expecting great things from Sasuke's fight with Naruto. After all, he is an Uchiha and he's facing off against a beast. Nonetheless, the extreme excitement didn't stop the important VIPs' front row seats or reserved spaces next to Hokage and Kazekage. "This should be interesting, right, Hokage-sama?" the Kazekage said as he was, inwardly beaming to get impatient. "Of course, though it is a shame that all 3 of your children didn't make it, very unfortunate, Kazekage-sama," Sarutobi said with respect as the other Kage nodded. Sakura was on the balcony where the others of who's to fight. However, a majority of the people were missing. So far only Shikamaru, Hinata, and Gaara, who was in the far end of the corner, were present. "Hinata," Sakura called out to the shy girl who was daydreaming about a certain blonde boy. Ye Sakura-san," she answered in her dreaming innocent voice, but held lots of backbone as well, which was something Sakura noticed, as well as Shikamaru. "I just wanted to say good luck to both of us, and no matter what, don't hold anything back," Sakura said, almost excited, and paused for about 5 seconds before finishing. "After all," she yelled. We have to show 9W these guys that they aren't the dominate in the shinobi department. She finished holding her hand out to Hinata, wanting her to understand she will have no hard feelings when they decided to give it 100%. Elsewhere. Man, I still can't believe you managed to defeat Mercenary Dao, Yamcha said as, with his signature smile, he was piloting a capsule plane Bulma Mang to get her dad to borrow. Yay, you even managed to collect all the Dragon Balls and save Appa's father. That's one heck of an achievement in my book. Bulma said with a soft smile, remembering that Goku also soloed the whole Red Ribbon army. Yay. But Goku, never forget, no matter how much stronger you think you've gotten, there's always room for improvement, my boy, said Master Roshi as he approached the Bulma from behind the chair and grabbed Bulma's bust. This however ended up with Roshi later with a huge knot on his head in the ocean. Roshi, looking dazed, said, I just wanted my hug she owed me, hee. Roshi giggled with a perverted smile with drool sagging off his lip as he sunk in the ocean. Ha ha ha, you guys are too much, but Lord Karen did give me some amazing advice though, training with him saved me from losing to Dao. But never mind that, why's Krillin sleeping so much all of a sudden? Goku wondered but was doubtful of getting a good answer. Who knows? Bulma said with Goku narrowing his eyes at this response. But he may be saving energy in case something bad happens, I guess. Bulma finished. Zooming past the clouds in the sky, they wait till they arrived in Konoha. At the Chunin exam stadium, 25 minutes later, after the Hokage finished the given speech for the exam, he awaited for the proctor to begin the matches, the first of which. Sakura Haruno versus Hinata Hyuga. The crowd were intense, mostly from seeing that a Hyuga and an Uchiha were said to be in the finals, which is the main reason a majority of people from villages came, not to show respect the contenders but to see a bloody fight, which they will get, most likely. Okay, I am Genma of the Hidden Leaf Village, and I hereby promise, I will show no favorites and stop pointless fighting if I deem the contestant outmatched or unable to move. Are there any questions from the finalists? He said as he stared at the ninja teens. All giving a nod, he continued. Okay, then will Sakura and Hinata remain on the exam ground, and the others please return to the waiting booth. He said as glanced at an orange-like persona descend from the entrance. Wait. An Abivu person said rather loudly, disturbing most of the audience, and the people from the Leaf have an idea on who said it. Naruto Uzumaki has reported for duty and I'm gonna win, believe it, Naruto said with a cheery personality and extremely confidently. Walking behind him was the enemy to lovely ladies everywhere, Jiraiya of the Sennin. Hello there, Genma. I hope you're doing well, Jiraiya said with a slight smirk. Ah, Jiraiya, you do understand that you are interrupting the finals, right? Genma asked, a little dumbfounded that he let his toothpick fall to the ground. Waving his hand in dismissal, he said it's okay and apologized, and to ask can Naruto still compete. Genma seated agreed. Naruto saw both of his friends about to get ready for their battle and couldn't figure out on who to root for. Naruto inhaled and exhaled after a deep breath and did a double thumb up to his friends, and flashed towards the weighing booth and stunned most of the spectators and ninja there. Most were starting to overlook that he was an abnormal piece of society and saw him as a possible rival for the Uchiha. Gaara was pretty much interested in the strong opponents who were shown to be the best, and with that thought Gaara knew he had to kill the strongest, and the strongest will be in the finals. Hey Naruto, Sakura, another familiar voice said as he descended from a yellow capsule plane. Looking in the sky, the people couldn't believe that another person had postponed the fight. Again. We made it with time to spare, Bulma, Goku yelled, much to the annoyance of Bulma. Landing on the stadium ground, debris began to scatter everywhere in the area until Yamcha finally hit the minimize button, relieving the people. Hey, sorry if we're intruding, said Master Roshi with a sheepish smile. Oh, you're not intruding at all, Genma said in a sarcastic voice. Oh, okay then, we just come to see Goku make it the final round of this exam, said Krillin, who patted Goku on the back, and the both sharing a smile. It fine, but you might want to hurry, the VIPs are getting frustrated on the fact that the exam hasn't begun yet, Genma said in a whisper-like tone for the group could hear them. Nodding, the group of four left to the spectator booth with front row seats thanks to her connection with Capsule Corporation. Goku, long time no see. Wow, you look buffed up, Naruto said, slightly budging Goku with his elbow. Goku smiled, faded as soon as he seen everyone in the booth. Where's Sasuke? Goku asked with concern. Naruto shoved his shoulders. I have no idea where he is, Actually, we were in seclusion from our teammates because if we do end up fighting one another, we won't know what the person is capable of. But I'm not too worried about it, though I have my insurance. Naruto said as he put on a cocky voice on insurance, which Shikamaru didn't miss. Interesting. A lazy-like voice said. Naruto and Goku turning their heads to see none other than Shikamaru. Shikamaru? I didn't figure you was gonna show up, Naruto said as he and Goku approached him from the left. Yay, well, my dad wanted me to get in here and face off in this to prove to my ma that I'm not a slacker. Shikamaru sighed with a half-bored face hunched over on his knees. Well, you really have your work cut out for ya, heh? Goku said as he pointed towards Gaara. You may say that, Goku, but you're up against Lee, and his crazy strong teacher guy sensei most likely trained him 10x harder than what he usually did. After all, you defeated Neji with not so much of a problem. Taking that into account, Lee must have studied your fight with great precision. The guy did 1,000 run around the village in 2 hours. Shikamaru said as he gazed at Goku. You better be on guard against him. However, I'm sure you're aware of the power he displayed in his fight against Cloud Ninja with that extreme display of nintaijutsu, he added. I know, I'll be ready. I haven't exactly been sitting around, ya know, Goku said as he took a seat beside Shika with Naruto soon follow after. Okay, are you two ready to begin? Hayate said as he had his hand forward reading the two kunoichi. Them both nodding, Hayate gave them the signal and thus the first round began. I'll do my best for Naruto-kun, Sakura and Hinata told themselves internally as they faced each other down with the determination Naruto has. The girls simultaneously flipped backward, Sakura landing around the threshold beside the tree. She made a summoning seal and a scroll seemed to appear to be about 120 centimeters. Hinata was no longer waiting to find out what Sakura had planned, but then as soon as she was in eyeshot of her, Sakura made a straight shot towards Hinata's stomach area. This shocked Hinata. She wasn't expecting anything like this from her, and the fact that the blade was avoided, she was still scraped around the right of where her ribs are. Sakura, I didn't figure you was training in Kenjutsu, Hinata said in a pants, shaken up of her near-death experience. I have a lot more than just this. Watch, Sakura said as she twirled the naginata in her hand before shouting. Kenjutsu style. Moon catastrophe. Sakura yelled as she re-gripped the naginata and made strikes that seemed impossible for kunoichi. Her strikes struck with 90-degree angle in a circle-like fashion. Hinata was quick to put up her guard, but the strikes were incredibly painful. Her right arm was slashed, both her legs were slashed just above her thighs. Whoa, what was that technique? A person said in the audience, with other people seemingly just as confused as the man who asked the question. Incredible. Sakura was able to perform one of the most deadly kenjutsu art in ninja history, with an oversized naginata no less, Shikamaru said with an excited smirk on his mug. Naruto, however too smart he is, was still quite dense. What do you mean? He asked, since it was obvious he knew and wanted Shikamaru to shed a little light on this jutsu. This is gonna be a drag, but basically the naginata is an awkward blade that is extremely difficult to master due to its sheer size, and the fact that it's heavy to lift makes it even more difficult to use without proper training, but the damage it outputs is damaging. Combine that with the moon catastrophe lethal strikes makes it one of the damaging kenjutsu in the world. Shikamaru explained as simply as he could for Naruto to understand. This seemed to make Goku acknowledge her fighting prowess greatly. Back on the exam ground. I'm sorry, but I can't lose Hinata. I trained to the point that I felt like crap and couldn't go on to deal with the hindering of this blade Hayate-sensei entrusted to me, she said as she slowly but firmly lifted the blade within her grasp. Hinata was in no mood to try and evade that same attack twice consecutively, gathering whatever strength ho gain. Hinata in a fast motion distanced herself from away of the range that the naginata blade bestowed for Sakura, which made her options limited since she was a Hyuga. She specializes in taijutsu and rarely mid-range battles. Slightly whimpering, Hinata felt her heart shatter under the fact that after all the training she endured this past month was mostly wasted, since she did really have a way around her defense. Hinata thought, almost stunned that she completely forgot that she practiced this technique once, but failed at it multiple times. I have to give it a try, it may be my only way to get around her moon catastrophe, she thought as she began to set her plan into motion. At the stadium, many of the crowds were pleased that Haruno girl was doing well against one of the descendants of the Hyuga clan. Sakura was not cocky, however, and she paid close attention to Hinata's steps, being wary of any traps. This technique taken a lot out of me. I think I have enough to do at least one more, according to Hayate-senpai. She thought as she remembered him helping her develop the technique. Flashback begin. In the middle of August, Hayate and Sakura had traveled to the outskirts of the Land of Iron to get the desired weapon Hayate knew would give Sakura that extra strength and self-assurance in her battle with Hinata Hyuga. Walking in this blistering heat was becoming too much for the girl as she never went on even a mission that required so much effort. It seems to be working. Sakura seems to have gotten a bit adapted to this heat. Okay, then step 1. Push and endure. Complete, he said to himself as he stopped in front of a temple with the kanji being dust and broken saying, Old Katana Temple, unnerving Sakura. Hayate-senpai, I'm assuming this is the place? Sakura asked as she observed the rusty and dusted palace. It was pretty much destroyed except at least in the front. Yes, this is place Sakura, so before we began what did you notice Sakura? He asked and wondered if she knew the true reason. What do you mean? It's hot, and the distance was pretty far so it was an exhausting experience to tell you the truth, she said as she wiped the dreads of sweat from her abnormal forehead. Very good, you may not have gotten the answer totally, per se, but you're on the right track. This was the training as soon as you embarked on this journey, he said as he continued to open the scroll on his back. Performing the hand signs he placed the scroll onto the dusty ground and from it the blade Naginata was in its place. Sakura, I truth you with this blade and I recommend you learn this kenjutsu art, he said as he showed her the move. Sakura was shocked that this required a lot. Why is there so many? Words failed to exit her mouth but Hayate knew what she asked. This kenjutsu requires a lots of power and chakra control. Even though you have an uncanny control, your reserves were way too low to even do this one technique. So I purposely led you to this journey to give you fate and to extend your stamina, he said. She granted Sakura the blade, which she took in hand. But this blade is different than the katana I was using at the beginning of the month, she said as she stared at her reflection in the tip of the blade. She saw flashbacks of her past self and regretted being so pitiful to her team. The same rules apply to this blade as well, Sakura. Just see the blade as an extension of yourself and you will complement this blade, I guarantee it, he said. She began to train. But keep in mind that this will only be usable twice throughout a single day. This jutsu demands a lot of chakra and you have yet to reach a supply of mid-Chunin level, he concluded as he watched as she did the technique. Flashback over. I have one more shot to try and win this. I have to put my all into this last effort, the cherry blossom girl told herself as she began the crucial part of the technique. However, this time Hinata decided to rush her as she secretly gathered chakra for a technique that would most likely fail, but she had to give it a try. Hinata aimed a fast sweep kick with her right leg. Sakura jumped at the last second and placed Naginata's curved end into the ground as she twirled sideways in an attempt to kick Hinata, but the girl easily blocked the first two, but the next she ducked under the tornado kick and palm strike Sakura in the chest, knocking her off blade. Sakura hit the ground with thuds and skits across the ground until her back hit the stadium wall, with a little crack forming from the impact. Sakura self-willed herself to her feet, wobbling as a matter of fact. Come on Sakura, remember what Hayate-senpai said. Self-assurance, she said as she suddenly felt weak as if her chakra was getting shut off. I see that your chakra pathway is finally lessened, Hinata struggled to say as she put a little effort in that last attack. With the way your chakra is now, you shouldn't be able to use that moon catastrophe again, she said in one breath. How did she know that I could use it only once more? Of course, I feel so brainless. She's a Hyuga, for crying out loud. I can't believe I forgot she has the Byakugan, she said as stared at her opponent's menacing eyes. In the crowd. It seems Sakura lost the will to continue from that last blow, Goku said as he looked on with a confused expression. Shikamaru nodded, confirming Goku's statement to be true. Still, she did far better than what I expected of her. But I'm glad she did her best. Both actually, Naruto said with a small smile as he glanced over to Sakura, who also mimicked him. She saw a smile on his face and he gave her a thumbs up, and she smiled a bit before regaining her resolve. Elsewhere in the crowd, it seems that Hayate and the Hiyashi taught them both extremely well, said Asuma, who was smoking a cig, much to the annoyance to Kurenai. I agree, this fight lasted far longer than I anticipated initially. Still, you have to give the girls credit, she added, which Amma nodded to. Hey, where Kakashi? Shouldn't he be here as well? He queried to the crimson-eyed Kunoichi. To be honest, I have no idea. He told Lord Hokage he'd be here before Sasuke's match. Kurenai divulged to the laced Jonin. Shrugging, he decided he must have his reasoning. Back on the field. The two Kunoichi were neck and neck as of now, with neither of them relenting on their attacks. Sakura double front kicked Hinata, but she parried the blow, but the distraction was all she needed to get to her naginata. Quickly, she began to pour the required chakra into the blade and charged toward Hinata, who still off guard because of Sakura's earlier tactic. Closing in, she shouted, "Kenjutsu style! Moon catastrophe!" Sakura yelled once again, but this time the attack was not at full power like before, so the damage output was also lesser than before, but the blade itself made up for it. Preforming the crescent-like strikes once more, the strikes came fast, but not fast enough for her to use all the chakra she has left for the ultimate defense. 8 trigrams palm rotation. Hinata yelled as the chakra began to twirl around the Hyuga mistress that picked up winds that flew dust in all directions. Boom! A small cloud of dust was evident that, to most of the audience, the fight was now over, and the victor only being hidden by a dust cloud that soon slowly vanished that revealed that both of the contenders were out cold, with smiles plastered on their faces. Soon afterward, Gekko appeared before the crowd. Both contestants are unable to continue, so the match is a draw, he said out loud. After a few seconds he could have sworn that the crowd were not gonna accept this, but to his surprise, they clapped and cheered loudly at that this was one in a long time and that this was achieved through the sheer will and determination and fire that was within Kunoichi. At the cage booth. That was an astounding fight, don't you say, Lord Cage? Sarutobi said as he put his smoke pipe back in his mouth. Yes, it would seems that there more to this village than it meets the eye, Orochimaru said as he faked his interest. Though he admitted that they were far more impressive than what he thought. Most notably the Sakura girl, who was the weakest of Team 7, coming from that to an high genin level to possibly low chunin, is impressive. Sakura and Hinata both were taken in by the medics, seeing that they were both out and to go get patched up. Getting ready to announce the next fighters, he was interrupted by a swirl of leaves, and later the figure made themselves to be Kakashi and Sasuke, wearing the same black outfit. At least it's someone who's supposed to fight, Gekko thought to himself as he let a sly smile came to his face. Sorry we're late, but I had to make a few detours on the way here. I hope that's alright, Kakashi said as he rubbed the back of his head with an eye smile. Please just hurry, Kakashi-san, Gekko said once more, getting frustrated of the delays. Turning around he faced Sasuke with a serious look. Don't forget our talk, he said as he, poof, in the stand and was with the other high-ranking ninja. Sasuke stared at the area, slowly turned his gaze towards Naruto up into the lobby stand. He smiled at the thought of fighting Naruto for real this time, after all Naruto promised him. Quick flashback begin. Now's not the time. If you really want to test yourself, just wait until the exams are over, then I promised I will fight you, Naruto said coolly, with Sasuke looking at him with a bland and emotionless face. Quick flashback over. Naruto descended on the ground and began to examine Sasuke. So, Sasuke began as he moved his bangs from his left eye to reveal that it was sealed. I hope you can give me a match. All I know is that you trained under Lord Jiraiya, so I expect a good fight, Dobi, Sasuke said cockily as he got into a stance similar to Lee's with a tint of the Uchiha style mixed with it. You been training hard, haven't Sasuke? Naruto asked as he too slipped into his unique style. Be careful not to choke Teme, he said as he was prepared to win this fight no matter what. Now this is gonna be a fight, but I have my money on the Uchiha, a female bystander said with a lot of talking in the background. Lord Jiraiya, long time no see, Kakashi said as he approached the Toad Sannin. Jiraiya turned to face him as he approached with the other Jonin behind him, namely Asuma and Kurenai. Yay Kakashi, I see that you trained Sasuke vigorously, judging from his body, he said, and in a sense, changed the subject from greetings. Well, I didn't really overdo it, but I figured he should work on his taijutsu and his new Sharingan, Kakashi replied as he looked below the stand to see Naruto and Sasuke in their same fighting positions. Speaking of which, how is it possible that Sasuke received the Sharingan eyes of Pawa Uchiha? I read that Sage of Six Paths had children during his time as the Jubi's Jinchuriki. Jiraiya elaborated with what little information he had. Kakashi was intrigued that the Sannin knew this much but wasn't totally fascinated. After all, he has a spy network. He mentally laughed at this particular thought. His face, however, didn't show any emotions. Well, according to some secret files from the Uchiha clan, Pawa Uchiha was the sage's eldest son, and before his conception, the sage was already the Jubi's container. Rumors from the text states some of the Jubi's chakra was so pure, evil that is, that this resulted in a mutation within Pawa's Sharingan which manifested during his confrontation with the Rabu Senju, the younger son of the sage. Pawa was so contained with the desire for more power that he willingly gave into this ominous and dark power. This power was later known as the Devil Sharingan. Kakashi finished as he looked at the shock expressions on Asuma and Kurenai's faces that they were shocked to the bones. Kakashi, Sasuke won't use this unholy ability on Naruto, would he? Kurenai asked, feeling somewhat nervous that the bright kid will be badly injured. No, I specifically prohibited this from being used at all. I even asked Lord Hokage to finalize it. Its drawbacks are far too severe for being used at all. He let the female Jana know. This but a slight smile on her face, but she was sitll worried a bit. After all, her student is in love with the boy, and if he were to get severely hurt or even die, will bring hell to the young Hyuga. Well, in any case, the match is about to start. Personally, who do you think will win? Asuma asked as he lit another cig. It'll be tough to decide. Both seem to have been trained appropriately, and their styles look near flawless, he said as he inhaled the tobacco in the cig. You'll just have to wait and see. Kurenai said. She took her seat and awaited for the fight to commence. Gecko watched the two ninja genin with much anticipation, as well as the crowd who were all spectating, waiting to see the village prodigy make a mockery of the pariah of the village. Begin, he said from a distance as he eyed to see who would make the first move. Hey Dobi, I heard you had a teacher as good as Kakashi, so I expect no less than what you've shown so far. Sasuke said as he dashed from his Uchiha defense stance and aimed a right chop, followed by a left spin kick directed for Naruto's head. Flashy start, duck butt. Naruto retorted as he barely matched Sasuke's speed, deflecting the chop with using his left wrist and using a headspring to avoid the kick. Good dodge, Sasuke said as a joke as he was already behind the blonde, who was stunned at the mere fact he was already behind himself. Kneeing Naruto in his back, forcing him to arch forward, he vanished from sight and reappeared in front of Naruto, using the shadow of the dancing leaf, and swiftly kicked Naruto upward. Naruto spat out some blood from the assault and distortedly regathered his thoughts. He seen Sasuke in pursuit, and managed to throw up a guard to block Sasuke's kick that was meant to send Naruto crashing into the ground. Once Naruto touched the ground, he used his signature technique and yelled, "Shadow Clone Jutsu," giving rise to 3 clones. They each drew a kunai knife and sprinted towards the motionless Uchiha. One of them threw their kunai towards Sasuke to distract him from the other 2. As planned, he dodged by jumping in the sky. What Naruto didn't count on was Sasuke reacting back. Fire style. Grand Fireball Jutsu. He yelled prior, exhaling air and concentrating his chakra, blowing out a large spiraling flame ball towards the exposed Naruto's. The flame ball nailed its targets after the effects were gone. Sasuke seen that both lying down. Sasuke glanced at the 2 closely but was delighted to see one of them, poof, away. Naruto was jacked up by his jacket and examined by Sasuke. Naruto then slowly opened his eyes and managed a smirk. Sasuke smirked as well at his idiotic face. What's so funny, loser? I've won, and I must say, your teacher obviously had to be a fool to train you, Dobihe. Sasuke said coldly before an explosion sounded, and that sent the confident Sasuke into the wall along with a few burns as well. In the audience, Shikamaru and Goku. Naruto must have planned this all along, Goku said suddenly. Shikamaru looked over to Goku and was slightly amazed as well. I'd say. Naruto took advantage of his unpredictable movements and Sasuke's confidence, and lead him on with his shadow clones. He must have increased his chakra control too, since he dismissed one of his clones halfway through, Ra said looking back down the stadium. With Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto re-emerged from a tree that hid him from Sasuke's field of vision the moment he used his fire style. Grand Fireball Jutsu. Naruto had to quickly plan his next actions to shift things back in his hands, so using Sasuke's red coloring of the area he was unseen by most of the crowd and hid himself in a tree and let his plan unfold.
Is that all, Sasuke? I know you're not knocked out from just that Yatem, Naruto said with as a victorious smile crept on his face, staring at the implanted Uchiha.
Sasuke started to shift as he lifted up his head and started to laugh amused at Naruto's words. Getting out of the crater he was in, Sasuke walked back to the center of the grounds of the arena. Naruto, let me ask you something. Did you honestly believe that was the pinnacle of my abilities? What I just showed you was nothing but the best you had to offer before our training, which is not even a warm-up to me as of now. He said as he quickly made his way towards Naruto and had his fist planted in his gut before even Naruto even realized it himself. In the audience, Jonin. Was that speed similar to that of my pupils when the weights are removed, Kakashi? Guy asked his comrade, who simply gave him a glance before resuming the current fight. I'd say, gosh, that boy is something else. You trained him right, Kakashi, Asuma told the copy ninja. Did his increase focus mainly on his speed? Kurenai followed up to Kakashi.
Well, it did but also didn't. You see, for Sasuke to be able to use this speed like now, requires him to have a lot of muscle power to keep him from burning up less chakra. So in a sense it is not his speed alone, but with his precise control he's likely using about 37% of his chakra, the rest is him that's pulling the luggage. Kakashi told the others, but Jiraiya, HMPH, earning a few raised eyebrows.
Sasuke has improved from your earlier testaments, Kakashi, but Naruto has too. Watch and see what I mean. He told the barrage of Jonin. Guy smiled as he too was interested what Naruto could have learned from the Toad Sage. In the audience, Bulma and the others. They're quite fast even for these ninja standards, Yamcha said, leaning over the railing, alongside Bulma. It's not totally impressive though. Jackie Chun and I did way faster acts than this, Krillin replied to the bandit. What? Are you guys saying they're as fast as you guys? Bulma asked, astonished. She looked over to see Roshi simply nod as she resumed to looking on. With Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto was still in shock at the Uchiha's speed as saliva escaped his mouth. Sasuke slowly removed his fist from Naruto's abdomen and quickly kicked him backwards, sliding on the ground. The crowd began to cheer Sasuke's birth name as he was beating the demon. Naruto struggled to his feet but couldn't find the strength to get up, tumbling back on the ground for his wasted effort. This is boring. It's about time I wrap this up, huh? Sasuke was caught by surprise as wind swirling was audible. Boring this, Sasuke. Wind style. Shredding claw. Naruto yelled before wind from Naruto tore through the ground of the arena. But Naruto was disappointed that Sasuke wasn't the one lying face in the dirt. Darn. Where could he have gone? I almost had it, Naruto complained as he desperately looked for his rival. Sasuke gave Naruto his answer when he tried throwing two quick punches. Naruto dodged the attacks by leaping out of his range, and that caught Sasuke's attention. How could you dodge me all of a sudden? That wasn't luck, Sasuke demanded as a cocky Naruto then rubbed underneath his nose with his index finger with a grin. What was that? Do I hear amazement from the great Sasuke? Naruto decided to play with the honor phrase the girls call him. Seriously, you know a ninja got to have his secrets, ya no? He said before he quickly threw a few more kunai. Sasuke simply vanished in between the kunai knives and reappeared in front of Naruto, the two sharing eye contact before they both exchanged fists on the other's face. Both were sent the opposite directions, as a result carving the ground. The Uchiha recovered and was quickly kicked in the jaw from above from Naruto. He crashed into the wall again but instantly freed himself and noticed two Narutos charging at him. Didn't expect that, did ya? Ha! Naruto yelled as both he and his clone both attacked at the same time. The real Naruto threw a punch, whilst the clone sweep kicked, forcing Sasuke to twist midair and strike both of the Narutos, but they didn't let up because both of them exploded at the impact, making Sasuke get blown away from kinetic force. The real Naruto was in the distance as watched on proudly. Sasuke growled, gritting his teeth. Let's see you deal with this, fire style. Firestorm. He yelled. Sasuke gathered immense chakra in his palms and discharged them above Naruto's head. Now fall. He finished with a horse hand seal. the towering fire slammed down on Naruto with hundreds upon hundreds of fire bullets that rained hard, penetrating even the ground. With Jonin. Impressive, Kakashi. That jutsu is incredibly hard to learn, much less do. His chakra reserves must really be high. Asuma clearly amused. Jiraiya looked on and noticed Naruto tried out his new trick he learned. Kakashi saw the fondness the sage had in his eye, and if that's something to go by, then this match is far from over, he finalized as he continued to watch. Stadium ground. As the attack wrapped up its part, a dome was evident that swirled. The crowd were all shocked, even the Jonin and Goku. What? How? Sasuke furiously asked to himself as his eyes were beginning to bag. He saw Naruto inside his arms outward, his eyes bagging as well, panting as he managed a fox grin. I didn't expect your jutsu to be that strong, Sasuke. I'll praise you as a shinobi on that, Naruto said, but he was caught in a genjutsu the moment he looked into Sasuke's left Sharingan eye that had developed the mature version with all 3 tomos. Genjutsu world. Naruto was tied on a tree with his arms cut off as he bled out from the surreal feeling. In the forefront, a man with that devilish blue Sharingan, like Sasuke's, staring endlessly into his eyes. It's time to take it back, Uzumaki, the man said as he reached out to cover Naruto's face. Outside, Naruto was in a vegetable-like state as his eyes seemed to have no life whatsoever. Sasuke himself stopped moving as well, confusing the audience. With Bulma and the others, what's wrong with those two? They're acting as if they have no soul, Master Roshi. Yamcha asked, Krillin rubbing the back of his head. I'm not sure, but it appears their mind is releasing a faint energy disruption in both their bodies, but I can't clue you guys in what exactly. Roshi explained as best he could. Sort of like a trance? Bulma asked, to which Roshi simply said yes to. In Naruto's mind. The Nine Tails was wide awake as the essence of his creator stood trying to absorb his chakra from the Jinchuriki for unknown reasons. Pawa continued to drain him until he was impaled by one of his many claws. Hehehe, you're a fool for attempting such a dire act on the human, the fox said as he quickly pulled out of the man's chest. Pawa kneeled to the ground, but a blue hue surrounded his wound as it began to repair itself. Kurama, it's like I'm not committing a crime, I just so happen to want what belongs to me. After all, I already am immortal, so long I hatred in his heart. Pawa said as the hue began to dissipate. Sorry to disappoint you, fiend, but I can't allow myself to be controlled, so away with you. Kurama screamed as he poured his chakra into Naruto's body and thus freeing Naruto. Outside, Naruto yelled out of nowhere, his roar blowing Sasuke, who too has recovered, away from his prior spot. It soon died down, but Naruto looked on to Hayate and raised his hand. I forfeit my round. Naruto directed as Hayate took action. A few medics came and guided him to the sick bay. The winner by default is Sasuke Uchiha. Gekko pronounced to the crowd, who all cheered, but some were complaining. He sensed it as well. Sasuke told himself as he walked away as well, paying no mind to the cheers of his name. With the Jonin. Well, that was unexpected, Asuma spoke first. I didn't realize being a Chunin meant so little to Naruto. Kurenai said, surprised. She looked at Jiraiya, hoping for an answer but got none. I'll go and check up on him then, later, the sage said before poofing away via the body flicker technique. Naruto, Kakashi thought to himself, puzzled like the others as well. On the stadium ground. Will the next competitors come? He asked for Goku and Lee. Goku flipped down from his spot near the Nara and landed with a slight crouch. Lee himself did a flip too, but midair used a dynamic entry to land on the ground, dust following the impact. Son Goku. I've been looking forward to this since I saw you effortlessly defeat Neji Hyuga. I trained as hard as possible to surpass that notion, so be ready. Lee said with a serious feature, slipping into his taijutsu stance, but Goku smiled all the way, not shaken. I've been training too, and I'm stronger since then, so no slip-ups. Hey, Goku replied, reverting to his turtle hermit stance. The crowd was in an eerie silence as the two contestants stared down at one another, looking for a flaw in one's style. The wind was gently brushing though as Goku slowly maneuvered slightly forward and sped towards the bushy brow fighter. Goku aimed a well-timed right punch at Lee's left cheek and sent the taijutsu user stumbling a bit. Lee simply recovered by spinning with the momentum and came back with a backhand, which Goku dodged but was soon struck in the guts by Lee's leg, knocking him back onto the dirty ground. Goku rebounded and started to throw a series of barrages of hooks connecting the first few before Lee countered and elbowed Goku in the chest and retracted the same arm and punched Goku in the face. Goku was sent afloat but he somersault kicked Lee as well, distancing both fighters. "Impressive, you are able to read my movements," Lee said astonished. Goku merely smiled. Lee soon used even more speed and easily closed the small gap between the two and shot underneath Goku, who attempted a guard for his upper body, which was what Lee expected. Kicking Goku, breaking his guard with a dynamic crack sound. Lee sent Goku upward with a gash of blood escaping his mouth. He proceeded by using the shadow of the dancing. Lee restrains him and pile drives them into the ground head first while rotating at a ferocious speed. Boom! A huge cloud of smoke was evident as the attack stunned a few of the spectators. In the stand. That technique it seemed to require a large amount of energy to perform, I must say. Roshi stated, getting Bulma, Yamcha and Krillin's attention. "Is Goku gonna be alright though?" Bulma asked with fear in her eyes at the possible fact that her friend passed on. "Don't sweat it, Bulma. Goku is tough as nails, no way he's gonna get KO'd by something of this caliber. Just wait and see," Yamcha assumed, Krillin nodding in agreement. "Guy, did you allow your student to take such a drastic approach during his matchup?" asked Kakashi, with Kurenai pondering along the same lines. "As you said, Kakashi, Goku, as you put it, my rival, was considered the strongest genin throughout all of the rookies of this year. And seeing his match against Neji Hyuga, who specializes in hand-to-hand, well, I guess you see where I'm headed." Guy trailed off with Jiraiya looking on at the fight but as well as listening. Back on the stadium ground. Lee was currently trying to regather some of his strength from that latest attack just now, but with training from Guy, he was more prepared for his drain. Panting, he noticed that the ground rumbled as he took a defensive stance. "Hia!" Goku screamed as he shot the debris from his person and elegantly landed onto the ground, regrouped in his turtle hermit stance. "That was a nice move, Lee. I'm starting to get excited, heh." Goku innocently said with a smile. "I figured you say that, Goku, so what do you say that you and I get serious, seeing as I still have a few more trick up my sleeves?" Lee beaming said as he made a dash towards Goku, who left an after image shocking the cages. Appearing above Lee, Goku drew his power pole and yelled, "Extend!" The pole instantly increased in length and drilled right bushy brow into the wall. Lee was momentarily dazed from the impact but soon slightly brushed it off. He glanced towards Goku, who held his power pole by his side. Spitting some saliva, Lee crossed his forearms over the other, perking Goku's interest. "So, you're finally gonna go at full power, huh? This should be fun," Goku said as he steadily to gather more of his power with the Tengai dramatic effect of dust and rocks slightly levitated. "Goku, it seems my sensei was correct. You truly do have what it takes to be an uncanny fighter. So with that said, I will no longer hold back anything," Lee stated, determined as he soon pulled from his stocking on each of his legs, and dropped each pair with a loud thud. "Gate of Life. Open," Lee chanted as he soon erupted with tons of power and chakra that he blew dust, debris and anything near him, far regions of the arena, knocking Goku off balance. Within a blink of an eye, Goku was kicked straight across the face with such force that his body spun crazily as he slowly descended towards the ground, but before that even happened, Lee began to blitz Goku from omnidirectional angles. Lee finished by using his hand bandages on his forearm to grip Goku and reversed him back to Lee, who soon pulverized Goku with a powerful open-handed strike and kick at the same time. Boom! Almost everyone was easily awed by the display of speed and power neither were able to see, except for the few ninja and Roshi. Soon enough though, Lee was soon depowered of the effects and was only able to stand using his remaining strength to wait out the count or the referee. "It looks like Lee wanted to win against Goku, using the inner gates," Asuma stated nonchalantly and adding a specific tone on the inner gates, as he pulled away his cig, to stare at a smiling Guy. "Well, to be fair, son, Goku possesses incredible might for a boy of his stature, so it's fitting to me that my delighted apprentice divulge a little of my studies." Kakashi too stared at Guy with a blank expression, soon diverting his gaze back to the stadium grounds. "Sir, it appears that I have won my match against Son Goku, so if you would?" Lee said as he fell to one knee panting along the side. Gecko nodded as a result. "Not yet, I still want to fight some more," Goku said with his upper right side of his GI torn, with a small amount of bruises on his face, but otherwise looked okay. Lee was convoluted at how Goku took on his attack without too much damage from his assault. "Why you? But how?" Lee in utter panic said as he was wide-eyed. "Hey, now don't give me too much credit, that last part knocked the wind out of me, but I managed to risen my ki too," Goku said with a huge grin as he went back into stance. "So if you're you to finish our little match." Goku finished his thoughts up. "I'm sorry, but right now I cannot hope to defeat you. I forfeit my match to you, Son Goku. You are a true master in your own right," Lee proudly stated, striking his "nice guy" pose, but slowly fell out, soon to be caught by Guy. "Son Goku, thank you for truly helping Lee test his mantle against you. I know he's very proud of himself," he said rather uncharacteristically as he vanished in a puff of smoke and only left Goku and Gecko. "Winner Son Goku," Gecko eagerly said as he raised Goku's hand into the sky, the crowd cheering soon afterwards. "Way to go, Goku, I knew you could do it," cheered Bulma as she almost fell over the stand, giving Roshi a view of her panties but chose not to say anything as he continued to stare. "Wow, Goku's really gotten stronger since his time at the tournament," Krillin stated. "You bet, he was fiercely attacked and only walked away with a few bruises and scrapes. That Goku," Yamcha said as he met up with Goku, who looked different due to his clothes being ruined. "Hey guys," Goku greeted once he arrived fully, his companions who started to associate in a conversation about his match. "Kukakuku. Goku has displayed tremendous endurance in his match against that kid who utilized the inner gates. I must have him on my side to help further my plans. If chooses not to, then I will simply erase him from this planet," Orochimaru finalized as he noticed Sarutobi began to talk. "Well, I guess your son is up next, Cage, so do you want to word your thoughts for Gaara?" Sarutobi asked, bewildered at the fact he doesn't seem to content nor uninterested in his son's match. "Why, I easily expect Gaara to carry out his duties, Orochimaru said within his disguise with a hidden message along with it. With Naruto in sickbay. Waking up from his slumber, Naruto awoke to a hospital room, his clothes still being worn. He sat up as he observed the room and noticed that Jiraiya was with him. "Pervy Sage? Why am I here? Are the finals over?" Naruto queried. "No, son. The final match is about to begin in a few minutes and I figured I could talk to you for a bit about your training." "Training? We already trained, didn't we?" Naruto continued to ask, Jiraiya whacking him on the head. "Shut it. Now, as I was saying, I wanted to teach you on how to use Sage Mode to make up on your inability to willing draw out the fox's chakra in times of need," Jiraiya explained. "Is that some ritual to make me act like you? If it is, you can keep," Naruto said, bluntly misunderstanding the elder man's explanation. "No, brat, you can never be me," the perv said as he slightly giggled. "But seriously, with Sage Mode, you will truly be a force to be reckoned with. You don't have to answer right now, but later I will come and seek you out once more when I feel the time is right, so be prepared. And good fight," he said, and, poof, away. "I didn't know he could use the shadow clones, bummer," Naruto glumly said as he got out of the bed and went to look for an exit to watch Shikamaru and Gaara's fight. And now for the final round of the first part, we have Shikamaru Nara versus Gaara," Gecko announced as he motioned to the contestants to fight. Shikamaru slowly walked to his destination with a bland expression as he looked at Gaara. "Man, what a pain I have to deal with someone of his status. This is going to be troublesome," he mentally slapped himself, as Gaara had that murderous look in his cold blue orbs. "Mother. She doesn't crave the weak. I will crush you." Gaara went berserk as he instantly drawn upon his sand and sent a tidal wave of sand near Shika's location. "Holy!" the Nara surprisingly yelled as he quickly jumped into the air in the form of backflip land on the tiles of the wall, using his chakra to stay upheld. "Dude, the proctor hasn't commenced us yet," he yelled to no avail as more sand came hurling towards his current location. "Shit. This guy's nuts," he told himself as he flipped off of the wall and drew several kunai and laced them all with paper bombs and launched each towards the sand wielder, exploding upon impact. This is bad, Gecko said as he flipped on his headset to contact his superiors. What is the cause for your son's action Kage? Sarutobi asked, clearly confused. Oh, he just obeying orders, you old man Kukakuku. Orochimaru revealed himself as he vanished and held Sarutobi hostage. Oh Orochimaru. I should have known you were off when I noticed your behavior, but murdering the Kage, you've gone too far, he said as he struggled against his might. You might say that, but apparently I went insane after learning of your idiotic choice for Hokage years ago. It's a shame that you won't live long enough to see how your past action will bring the destruction of your precious Leaf Village, he said as he plunged a kunai into Sarutobi's back, but was revealed to be a substitution. You truly haven't changed, and to think I once found you a worthy successor to the throne of Hokage, but with you the world will without a doubt fall into chaos. So I will end you here and now, he said as he threw aside his Hokage robes and was now laced in his combat gear. What the heck is going on? Krillin asked as he saw the crowd scream in terror when the match unintendedly started and the Hokage being snatched by a pedified snake-looking man. Something bad is about to go down. Students, this is it. Take your stances and assist to the victims of this sudden act, Master Roshi seriously said as he used his ki to disperse some feather-like particles that were putting the audience to sleep. Okay. Krillin, protect everyone up here. I'm gonna go look for Naruto, Goku said as he took off, with Krillin nodding. Beforehand, Kakashi and the other Jonin present were startled that they were being attacked by the sounds seemingly. Kakashi dodged 2 kunai strikes from an enemy. He flipped above the second strike and landed a twist kick to the opposer's jaw. Kurenai sliced through an enemy to land in front of another one, who was going to stab her if it weren't for Asuma, who backhanded the enemy with his chakra blades, smirking afterwards, earning a blush from the Genjutsu mistress. Guy planted his heel up against the back of Sound Nin, who was promptly sent crashing into a barrage of other Sound Nins. What's the situation? A voice to be named Jiraiya said as he once again appeared after his getaway. It appears that Orochimaru instigated a war against the Leaf, Kakashi calmly stated as he approached the other Jonin. Why would he choose to do it right now though? Kurenai asked, to no one in particular. Well, if I had to take a guess, it's likely to assassinate the Hokage to cripple the village's superpower, and that will be a disastrous situation given the fact Iwagak your hatred towards us. Luckily, I went on a trail that my spy network relayed to me regarding that several Sand and Sound Ninja were just outside the Land of Fire and seemed to have been set in place for unknown reasons, and I overheard that one of their grunts were awaiting for the signal. The Sannin said as he gazed around his surroundings. Which should be this? He disappointedly said. Shikamaru was currently hiding from the deranged Sand Nin as he tried to figure a way out of his problematic status. I guess I'll just have to try a different approach, he said as he took off his open short-sleeve shirt and tied it into a bag-like form with a kunai holding it in place, and let it float into the sky. Come out. I'll make it quick, he said with a sadistic laugh that echoed a surprisingly fair distance, where a certain entity watched from the shadows. Atop the vast lookout in Konoha, sounds of flesh and blades could be heard from the blows of whom were engaging in men socked Orochimaru in the face, making him lose his balance and attempted to regain his stance, already shocked that he had to deal with his ex-sensei due to interference from the old master of martial arts, Roshi. The elder Kage didn't let up and opted to force Oro on a strict defensive end by striking his chest with 4 thrusts from Enma, but the Snake Sannin saw the last attack coming and quickly placed forth Kisangani and parried the last blow horizontally as he then backdashed to address the matter at hand. You seemed to have panicked for that split moment, sensei. You had a clear opening, yet you didn't act once again, Orochimaru said as he licked his lips with anticipation of what his sensei would say as of now. I'm a man of peace and doesn't wish to end your life so needlessly. Just stop this crazed road for revenge, Sarutobi told to his student with wisdom and conviction in his words, self-conflicted inwardly to either deal with his former protege or end his village's cause of suffering. Orochimaru simply smirked as he got ready to battle his sensei once more. The old Kage finalized that Orochimaru still chose the darkness instead of making amends, and he too resumed in a fighting posture. On the other side of the area the Kage and student are fighting. Master Roshi and Hashirama and Tobirama, the past Hokages, were fighting. The first extended his hand, which protracted his wood style at the legend of martial arts, who barely dodged the wood-impaling objects but didn't get a moment rest due to the second using his impressive chakra control to use his water style to maneuver towards the perverted sage. Master Roshi was kicked in his exposed chest due to the first's attack and was sent skidding across the tiles of the roof. He rebounded by rolling and pushing off of the ground and once more reformed into his turtle hermit stance while these two seem to know no limits to how long they can fight. And at this rate, my stamina will begin to decline if I can't get past their seemingly unlimited endurance, he thought as he made a quick dash to Tobirama and engaged the man. Tobirama slapped away Roshi's punch and countered by aiming a mid-level strike for his stomach. Roshi, as he used the momentum and swayed with the fall and placed both hands on the ground and used his legs and crossed them onto the second's arm, that was going to strike him. Hashirama didn't take too kindly to this as he pounced in the sky as he withdrawn his right fist and punched straight for the two men. Roshi, still gripping the second, used his unprecedented leg strength to lounge the water user towards his older brother, making sure to dodge the radius of the first's punch to remain safe, a crashing sound evident. Shikamaru prepared his Nara's clan's secret technique and prepared to strangle the partial transformed Gaara. But a crow was seen from the corner of the Nara's eyes and exited the jutsu, Gaara slowly regenerating as a result. Apparently, his siblings has come to his aid, making Shikamaru doubt his chances of survival. Tamari, we can't have Gaara unleash his demon within the confines of the village. He's end up killing all of us. We should get to the outskirts at the very least, Kankuro said to his older sister nervously. Agreed, I'll carry Gaara, you defend our flank, okay? She said, getting a nod of confirmation from her brother as they soon left. Shikamaru, right. It's time to see what you can really do. The exams as of now are postponed until we dealt with the threat, Gekko seriously stated, Goku and Naruto finally arriving once more on the stadium grounds. Right, Proctor, he said. I'm amazed that you held your own against Gaara, Goku noticed. Well, it was no picnic. If those other two joined in on the fight, I most likely would have died. Luckily, they retreated, said the Nara as Naruto began to talk. Don't you think we should follow them? Besides, if they have 3 ninja on their side, then allow Goku and I to even the odds, Naruto said, thrusting his fist to himself as he spoke. Make that 4-3, for the leaf, a voice said, Sasuke revealing himself. You sure you're up to it? You and Naruto have already fought and you two must still be recovering, Shikamaru asked, though he didn't miss the look on Naruto's and Sasuke's respective faces. We got this, let's go guys before they get too far, Goku said before Kakashi and Sakura appeared. You guys have the right idea. With that being said, you guys are now bequeathed a mission on help stopping the invasion and protecting the leaf, he said as he made a few hand seals gesture and yelled, summoning jutsu. He said, summoning Puckin, his dog summon. He will lead the way to the sand ninja that headed up north of the village. Now go. We're all counting on you guys. With that said, the 5 of them took off up north of the village in pursuit of the invading trio. Forestry, north of the Konoha. Tamari, and Kankuro, the eldest sister who was holding the damaged Gaara, were all just a miles ahead of the village as of now and paused in order to acid Gaara's wounds properly. Damn, even his regeneration is barely holding itself together. At this rate he won't be healed enough and defend himself if the leaf ninja decide to pursue us, Tamari said as she panted slightly as she shifted her gaze to her younger and youngest brothers, biting her bottom lip.
Tamari, listen, you take Gaara a few more miles ahead. I'll hold off as many of the leaf I can and buy Gaara and you the time needed to win. You got that? Now go on ahead, he said in finality with a hesitant Tamari to further carry the injured Jinchuriki into the woods ahead. Okay, but don't you dare die, she said as she vanished before Kankuro could even respond. Forestry, half a mile south of Kankuro, Pakun, who took point, was followed by Shikamaru, then Sasuke, and Sakura, along with Naruto and Goku, jumping and maneuvering around trees and branches. Sniff. Sniff. I'd say another 10 to 15 minutes before we arrive to confront one of the enemies, the ninja hound spoke, perking Sasuke's and Shikamaru's interest. What do you mean one? I thought there were 3 exactly before they fled, Goku asked for the others who wondered along the same line. True, but it appears that 2 of the 3 continued on, and one of them was that sand wielder that Shikamaru was fighting, Pakun firmly explained. In any event, we should be there in a short time,
Sasuke blandly said as he picked up the pace dramatically. What's wrong with Sasuke-kun? Sakura asked herself as he soon quickly eclipsed everyone and was now leading the way, Sharingan in his left eye blazing. We're nearly there guys, be prepared for anything, Naruto said as he drawn a kunai. All the others, minus Sasuke and Goku, mirrored. Once in the area, Shikamaru tripped over a tree that severely disfigured. What the heck? He said as he found some deception near this tree. No, guys, look out, this is a trap. He yelled for all his companions could hear, and they all heeded his caution. The tree soon busted open to reveal a scarecrow puppet that maneuvered in motion towards Pakun and Sasuke to kill them in one shot. Sasuke seen the attack and moved out of the way, abandoning the hound, who was saved by Sakura's timely intervention. The puppet was then at a standstill as its head was circling around to inspect its enemies. Sasuke, who still had the Sharingan active, saw a strand of chakra strings and seen them originate from the right. Jumping in the sky, he prepared a hand seal. Snake, dragon, rabbit, and tiger. Fire style. Dragon fire jutsu. He yelled as he blew the fire alongside the chakra strings, which raced towards the owner of said strings. Follow the fire's trail, Sasuke simply said as he continued onward to Gaara's destination, leaving behind his comrades. Cried out as he too followed him out of instinct. Damn, Kankuro swore as he abandoned his current chakra strings in order to evade the attack the Uchiha sought up for him. Sakura keenly kept track of the fire's trail. Quickly biting her thumb, she quickly summoned her Naginata, and charged towards the trail. Goku, you trail after Sasuke and Naruto. I have a feeling they're not going to have an easy time dealing with Gaara, while Sakura and I deal with the other here, Shikamaru said as he looked over to the Saiyan. Are you sure? After all, it is still your opponent, Goku said quickly afterwards. I'll be there as soon as possible after we deal with his ally, he said as he quickly followed after Sakura, leaving Goku to himself. He smiled shortly afterwards. Flying Nimbus, he shouted as he jumped into the sky and to be taken away soaring at high speeds. All right, here we go, he said en route to Naruto and the others. Border of the Land of Fire. Jiraiya had arrived just outside the village to continue his investigation regarding on regrouping enemy forces, but once he exited from his prior position, he noticed around 20 bodies that seemed to have been burned to a crisp. Shocked, he went towards their bodies and noted that these were the reinforcement that were set to invade Konoha after everyone else defending the village were too tired to continue. He inspected the body by frisking them and noticed a slip of note paper near the deceased body. Quickly grasping it, he opened it to reveal that a plan to capture both Naruto and Sasuke and to bring them forcefully back to Orochimaru's current hideout were a woman by a name that shook Jiraiya, Tanya. The note wasn't too detailed and made do with what he had. Someone else was here before I arrived here and the bodies are still dramatically hot. Still, whoever it was has some serious affinity for fire. I have to hurry to the Hokage, he said as he took off back towards the village. The end. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.